And the answer is no. I don't have the shirt yet. I absolutely am still desperate to get the shirt. The only problem is, if I don't think about it at the time, then I don't go to do it. So I went onto the website when he made his Rampage debut. It was crashing. I heard there was issues still on Saturday morning, and then ever since then it's completely slipped my mind to go on and actually buy the shirt. But I do want the shirt. I will get the shirt. I believe now it's the biggest selling shirt in pro wrestling tees history. Like, it's sold more than the Bullet Club shirt sold in its entire shelf life, which is, I mean, it is beyond mind-blowing what AEW are doing and what CM Punk is able to achieve as well. Like, it's absolutely incredible. So, yes, I do want to get the shirt. I will get the shirt. I don't have the shirt yet. So, I will, I'll write a little reminder. CM Punk shirt. Because that'll look quite good in future streams. So, yeah. I mean, I'm sat here with a Los Ingobernables de Japón shirt. But, yeah, I'd rather be sat here with the CM Punk one, to be honest. And I love the design as well. I said that I hope when he comes out, it's not going to say CM Punk and have AEW written all over it. I actually said I loved the one where the hand was grabbing the lightning and it had, like, the Chicago flag in the background. They've absolutely used that as the inspiration. A few little tweaks and changes. Slight change in colour from, I think it was blue, wasn't it, in the background? Now it's black. It looks amazing. It looks classy. I absolutely want to get it. So if you manage to get one, shout out to you. Before I jump into the chat, let's go through what we've got tonight. So CM Punk makes his first Dynamite appearance tonight. Chris Jericho discusses his future tonight. Malachi Black versus Brock Anderson. We've got that tonight. We've got Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley, and Darby Allin taking on the Wingmen. Who the flip are the Wingmen? The Wingmen, right? Versus the Wingmen, including Pretty Peter Avalon. So, another group there, just crawled from under the floorboards. The Wingmen. So there we go. We've got the Factory versus the Gunn Club. We've got the Varsity Blondes versus Lucha Brothers. We've got Orange Cassidy versus Matt Hardy. And we've got Red Velvet versus Jamie Hayter. So that's what we've got lined up tonight on AEW. Dynamite, no doubt about it. The CM Punk promo is going to be the biggest thing. Jericho's promo is going to be quite interesting as well. I don't know what time CM Punk's going to be out tonight because, of course, it's a bit earlier. So tonight they're actually on TV 8 till 10 Eastern time. So that's obviously drastically different to Rampage that doesn't start till 10. So they might make us wait again, or they could throw him in the middle of the show. They could even open the show, but I'm not sure that would be the wisest thing to do. I think that what they'll want to do is try and get us to keep around, like get as many people to stick around as possible, because once Punk has spoken, undoubtedly there will be a big drop-off. There's a lot of people tuning in tonight just to see what Punk's going to say on AEW Dynamite. I do think tonight will be a good number. I don't know that I'm expecting it to be a monster number. I don't know that I'm expecting it to be, like, massive, because he spoke for so long on Rampage. Like, I kind of feel like we know that he's a face. We know that he's going to face Darby Allin. We know, he sat down, did a bit of a pipe bomb. We got so much on Friday that it might just hurt a little tonight. People might think, no, I don't need to see it. He's back. I know he's back. And I heard what he had to say. I know what his next match is. I'll tune in for the match. There could be some people thinking that way. So we'll see. We'll see. Whatever tonight is, it's going to be one of the bigger Dynamites. Like, make no mistake about it. I don't expect this to be 700,000, 800,000. Like, I'm expecting this to be 1.2 around that ballpark, maybe even bigger than that. But we've seen 1.2s before for Dynamite. So, yeah, there's every chance that we get up to that again. And I suppose that would be seen as a very, very impressive number for AEW. So, yeah, obviously looking forward to that. And you can just tell there's a real energy, there's a real buzz. It's cool. It's really, really cool. And I love the fact that Cornette, we spoke about it the other day, James E. Cornette on his podcast, and he lays into AEW all the time, but on his podcast said that the Punk thing wasn't like how he would have done it. It was better. He actually said it was booked better. And I should imagine that was not an easy thing for him to say. I should imagine that was not an easy thing for him to hold his hands up and admit. So I think that's the first time he's ever said that. I think it's the first time he's ever admitted that they did something better than what he could have done. So, yeah, very, very impressive. Very impressive. I wouldn't have changed any of it. It was bang on, wasn't it? Austin said, shout out to Jason Peace. He's going to be a father. Many congratulations, Jason. That's awesome news. I should imagine you are doing cartwheels right now. Well, I hope you're doing cartwheels. Either that or you're sat sweating in the corner of the room. I'm not sure. But, Jason, I hope... I wish you all the best with that. It's awesome that people throwing in their congratulations. Very, very cool. Have you thought of names yet, Jason? Because our community can definitely help with that. You let us know when you need a name. Yeah, we're here for you, mate. We're here for you. We can come up with something. Not now. I should imagine this is all quite new, and it's still sinking in for you. But yeah, if you need a name, give us a shout. Don't ask any of us to babysit though, because that will be a nightmare. Honestly, I don't think that's a road that you want to explore. So yeah. Can I get a shout out? Said Mr. Niffler. Shout out to you, Mr. Niffler. Days, are you doing Paralympics after AEW? To be honest, I'm not getting loads of requests for it, and it's really difficult to know what the big events are that people want to watch. There seems to be, I don't know, the fanfare just doesn't seem to be there for it. I don't mind the Paralympics. I've actually been watching bits of it, but no, I don't have any plans at the moment to do big Paralympic streams. Literally just basing it on how many times I've been asked. Olympics, I was getting asked a lot, whereas Paralympics, just the odd person, really. I don't know, it's a weird one. It is a real weird one. I've said before, I think it might be really beneficial, but probably impossible, if they were to just merge the Paralympics with the Olympics and just have one big, even if it goes on for 4 straight weeks, and it's just the Olympics. Because I think the Paralympics suffer from a lack of star power. People might think that I'm, wrong with that, and that's fine, but I just think, the men's NBA basketball team, the USA basketball team, it's got all those NBA stars, that brings people in. Simone Biles, that brings people in. Trying to see who the next Usain Bolt's going to be, that brings people in. People are interested in all that, but I just don't feel that, I don't know who the poster woman and the poster man is for the Paralympic Games. I mean, in tennis, you've got Federer and Naomi Osaka. You've just got all these big names everywhere, but Paralympics just doesn't, it seems to be suffering from that. So if you merged them, then maybe there'd be more eyes on the Paralympic stuff, or maybe they could have done a better job of building up the Paralympics and getting some names out there. But I know it's not about that. It's not about celebrities and stars, and it's about sports and all that. So I have actually been watching a bit. England, Great Britain doing not bad at all. We normally do all right at the Paralympics, in all fairness. I'll keep an eye on it. If people are shouting at me about something in particular, then we'll go and we'll definitely have a look at that. Louis said, welcome. Shout out to you. I thought for some reason then, I thought it was a super chat. I was trying to have a read then of what you'd put, but I couldn't see anything. So, Louis, shout out to you, my friend. Hope you are well. Feel free to throw in your thoughts, throw in your comments. Days, I've seen a few people who rep Roman worried about Brock. I'm that guy. If you wanted Roman to retain, would you be worried? Yes. I'm someone that is a Roman fan. I'm someone that thinks Roman should drop the belt to a Finn Balor or a Big E or one of these up-and-comers. I say up-and-comers, Big E's been around forever, but has never held a big main event title. And Finn Balor has once for 24 hours. So when I say up-and-comers, I mean people that are breaking into that main event scene. So I feel like, Roman should give it to one of those, whereas Brock couldn't be any more different. Like, Brock doesn't need it. I said this about Cena. Cena didn't need to win the title. He's John Cena. Brock Lesnar doesn't need to win the title. He's Brock Lesnar. So I am worried about it because we know he's sticking around. It's not like he's just going to have this feud and go. He's sticking around. So I am a bit concerned. I'm a bit concerned. I think any Roman fans should be concerned. I am a Roman fan, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan that's like Roman should win every match ever. Like, I'm not one of them. I'm not one of these fans that's like, no, Roman's the best and he's got to win everything. I'm not one of them. I want him to lose, but to the right, or what I would regard as the right person, like a Finn Balor or a Big E or someone that's going to really benefit. I don't think Brock really benefits by beating Roman, but you could tell a great story from it. And someone then could beat Brock, of course. So I suppose all you're doing is just kind of kicking the can down the road a little bit. Someone will beat Brock. My concern would be that Roman will beat Brock and we'll just go back and forth between these two. But if you read a lot of articles about what WWE need right now, what they need right now is to build new stars. And that's kind of being shouted at by everywhere. I think SummerSlam was a real eye-opener because you had Edge, you had Goldberg, you had Brock arriving, you had Becky coming back, you had John Cena in the main event, like Randy Orton winning a title. Like, yeah, I get that, like, Orton, for example, was probably the right move with RK Bro, but there's no denying they're leaning a lot on old stars. Where's the new stars? I think that's what upsets people about Bianca so much. She's a new star. Got squashed in like 20-odd seconds. So we'll see. We'll see where it all leads, where it all goes. SmackDown is huge this week. Absolutely huge. Can't wait for it. And I can't wait for tonight as well. It's going to be good. It's just good, innit? It's just good. Wrestling's just good at the moment. So, and it really is. I really enjoyed NXT last night. Raw was but there was so much like weird stuff on it that I actually enjoyed it, that I actually thought that it wasn't that bad. I thought it was an entertaining show. I thought there was more in it than there had been for a few weeks, a few months maybe. So Raw, little better. NXT I really enjoyed. Tonight, I'm sure I'm going to really enjoy. SmackDown, I'm sure, is going to be off the charts. Back to UFC on Saturday. Jake Paul on Sunday. We're going to do the weigh-in watch-along as well. So, yeah, we're not struggling for streams. We're not struggling for things to watch and enjoy. So, big shout-out to everyone that joins us. William said, the Paralympics are all cheaters anyway. They've got wheels and robot legs and arms. Yeah, they really build it up here, in all fairness. Like, Channel 4, which is, like, I think the most viewed channel. You would think it would be BBC One, but I think it's just behind Channel 4. Channel 4, brilliant, great channel. But Channel 4, it's where you watch like The Simpsons and Frasier and it's Friends and, all those kind of like shows tend to be on Channel 4. But then they also have some really great British stuff on there as well. Well, Channel 4 is just like Paralympics at the moment. So it's on our biggest channel. And I think they're doing like 300 hours of coverage of the Paralympics. So yeah, it's all over Channel 4. So they've built it up like, they're showing it really, really well, like the actual coverage. But I don't think the build up to it had been that brilliant. As I said, I kind of feel like there could have been some interviews with Paralympians. There could have been some documentaries. If there was, they weren't reaching me. I never saw them. It's not even been covered that much on the news, in all fairness. So, I don't know, it's a weird one. It's such a weird one. Because it is this massive, massive sporting event. But I don't know if people are just a bit burnt out from the Olympics or what it is. But I'm just not getting the requests for it. Right, let's try and go down. Hodge, burn it down. HOJ, burn it down. Shout out to you, my friend. Appreciate the support. Unite, I'm going to try and read as much as I can here. United We Love said, Days, I'm a big fan of Brock, but I think the time for them to build new stars was 17 to 20. They're just giving Brock a lot of world titles till new stars could have been credited. Big fan of Brock, but I think the time for them to build new stars was 2017 to 2020. I think you can build new stars anytime, honestly. I mean, I think it depends who is around, who is worth building. One of the things that we never quite know is, how are these people backstage? Like, we never really know that. Like, some of these superstars could be absolute nightmares backstage. They could be demanding divas, really hard to work with. Like, everything you propose to them, they turn it down. It could be that they're constantly... I mean, look at the Ultimate Warrior. We never knew about all of that at the time. Like, Ultimate Warrior behind the scenes was a nightmare. All you hear now is that he was one of the hardest people to work with in all of WWE. Like, Ultimate Warrior famously, before SummerSlam 1991, turned around to Vince and said, like... Oh, I think it was a letter, actually, demanded that he get paid something like $250,000, otherwise he wasn't going to show. And this was after he'd been advertised. And he gets given the money, he goes out, does the match. As soon as he walks through the curtain, he gets fired. So, do you know what I mean? Like, you've got all of this going on behind the scenes, and so much, to us as fans, to me, I was a big Ultimate Warrior fan. I wanted to see him win the title loads of times. I couldn't understand why he was not getting the belt more. I couldn't understand why he wasn't getting even bigger pushes, and it all makes sense now. Now, I'm not saying there's anyone around that's like Ultimate Warrior now, but there could be people around that are just nightmares. There could be people around that are very, very difficult. I mean, Austin Aries is meant to be very difficult to work with. Alberto Del Rio is meant to be very difficult to work with. Allegedly, they're meant to be very difficult to work with. But, yeah, you just can't quite tell. Like, even though you might look at some young stars and go, yeah, amazing. Look at Lars Sullivan. Like, Lars Sullivan, this big, beast of a man. And look at all the baggage and all the stuff that came along with Lars Sullivan. And then you've got Ryback, and look what Ryback's, shouting his mouth off on his podcast and apparently quite tricky to work with. And again, allegedly, Enzo, again, same boat. Like, you've got all these, like, young stars. I don't know what they're like. I don't know if it's Vince just not seeing anything in them. I don't know if some of them are a bit problematic. We don't know if there's any wellness policy violations. I'm not saying that WWE are completely innocent. They're not. Absolutely they're not. And I'm sure they could have done a better job of building some stars. But it's just hard to know what's happening behind the scenes. But I do look at some of the talent that's coming through and I get very excited. Odyssey Jones really excites me. Take off the kinky costume off Karrion Kross. Give him Scarlet back. That excites me. Like, the look of him with Scarlet was a great package. My only problem that I've really ever had with Karrion was I always thought his entrance was a bit cringe, just because, and I know many people are going to disagree, but just because like Scarlett would get into the ring and she'd start mouthing along, singing along to the thing, and I was just a bit like, didn't need that. Like, I wanted her to come in and just look really imposing, really strong, whilst the music played in the background and like built up. You know, like as Undertaker was coming down, he was like slowly walking with his head down. He wasn't going da 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 da. He wasn't singing along, was he? So, like, I kind of think that that's the only thing I would have tweaked and changed. I certainly wouldn't have parted the two of them. I certainly wouldn't have put him in a kinky mask and a kinky costume and made him look like a kinky member of Demolition. Like, I wouldn't have gone that way. So I'm not excusing WWE, because they've definitely made mistakes and continue to make mistakes. But yeah, it's hard to know. It's hard to know the truth sometimes. It's hard to know the truth. But I think there's always time to build stars. Days, did you see the new video that AEW added to YouTube? It was building up to tonight's Dynamite. Went behind the scenes from Rampage and showed you how they produced Punk's return. It was really cool, says Oprah Wind Fury. I haven't seen it. I know of it. I haven't seen it. It's the kind of thing that I would find very interesting. I saw a little clip. It was actually the night of Rampage where the music hits, the crowd go crazy, and Punk's backstage and he goes, "Is that for me?" Like this, and then he just like, they're all cheering and he climbs up the steps, and it's like literally the few seconds before he goes out. So I saw that. I haven't seen like them producing it and everything, but I'm aware the video exists. So yeah, I would like to get around to watching that. That would be cool. I saw the clip of Tony Khan. That was funny. Tony Khan like losing his voice, and like he was so amped up, he was just like stomping his leg, and he was like, "Chicago, I'm paying you back tonight. I appreciate all your support. This is for you, Chicago." And he's like proper fired up. It was kind of really cool. So he was like really amped up, stomping his foot on the ground, and this was just moments before, like, you know, Rampage was about to start. He obviously went out back, and then, you know, the countdown began, and then boom. So I mean, like, you could make a documentary just about that, everything there. Wrestling fans would love that. Imagine a documentary that starts with like Tony Khan talking with, you know, Kenny, Cody, and they're just saying like, how do we get him? What do we need to do? Like, and they're talking about like trying to bring CM Punk in, and we, you know, you cut to like them on the phone trying to talk to him and see if there's any way forward, and then like you could build to their first meeting, and they can obviously say, look, we've got the video cameras. If this does progress, you know, we'll make a documentary out of this so that people can see the process and how we got here. And obviously you don't find out like the specifics of the contract or anything, but just the whole build up. Like, you could do a really incredible, like, even if it's just an hour kind of a show, just showing like the process. Because I think people just want more and more of this. Like, you know, I'd love to hear from Tony Khan, hear from some of the wrestlers. I think there have been some interviews. I think Tony did a press conference with CM Punk actually, but yeah, I'd love to have seen that kind of build, and you know, how did they get the breakthrough? Like, apparently they've been in talks for a little while. Apparently they've been in talks about a year and a half, but I wonder at what point did it accelerate? I wonder at what point, you know, and did the pandemic get in the way? Like, was he meant to have returned before now, but the pandemic actually got in the way? I don't know the answer to that. So, yeah, I could watch an hour on that easy. TallPaul 2000, shout out to you. How's it going? Look at you. Look at that dude. It's amazing. He's got a lovely shirt on. Getting the vibe that he's by the beach. He's got a shirt on. His hair is like blowing in the breeze. And, I don't know. He's kind of got his hand like this, kind of like, how's it going? I kind of feel like maybe he's having some relationship trouble. He seems a bit down. In my mind, this dude is at the beach. He's been in the sun a bit too long. Looks like he's got a mad tan. He looks orange. So he's at the beach, and I think he's got some relationship problems. I actually look at him and feel a bit sorry for him. I'd be like, yeah, I'm all right. How are you though? Everything all right? Yeah, you look a bit down. So there we go. We've analysed that little emoji dude, haven't we? Shout out to you, TallPaul. Daz said, do you think Sting will ever turn on Darby? I hope not. I mean, you could do a match between them, and Sting's a legend, but I'm not down for seeing that. I kind of feel like, it should just be a case that Sting just keeps mentoring Darby, and there's enough people for them to face. I kind of think that if Sting turns on Darby, it's just a pointless, needless shock. I don't feel like it's needed. I don't feel like it would really bring much value. That's not something that I'd be looking for. No, it's not something I would be looking for. I like Sting, and I think at this stage in his career, you want to cheer Sting, don't you? I mean, Sting's just a great babyface. He's always a great babyface, and at this, the fact he's come back from injury and he's able to put on the odd match, nah, I wouldn't have him turn. I wouldn't have him turn. Not unless, you're bringing in something massive. Do you know what I mean? Not unless you've got, a dark superstar or someone that, is, really, that Sting could switch to. Like the new Darby Allin 2.0. I don't feel like that person's on the roster right now. But if you had a youngster that was, even darker than Darby Allin, like a male Abaddon, or something like this, then maybe you could think of doing it. But I wouldn't even do it then. I really wouldn't. Moldy Spoon said, do you think Punk will wrestle before All Out, or will that be his first match back? I would think it would be his first match. Why give it away on Dynamite? I mean, you can have him do promos and appearances. You could have him being attacked. You can have him attack people. You could do backstage brawls. There's things that you can do, but I think actually booking a match and seeing... No, it's too big. Like, having him walk out, go into the ring and do a match before All Out. No, I wouldn't do that. I'd save it for the pay-per-view. I mean, you are guaranteeing a big, big number. There's things that people are going to watch. They're going to want to see him walk out first time, and we saw that on Rampage. They're going to want to hear his first promo. Saw that on Rampage. My problem is tonight, it's billed as his first time on Dynamite. Dynamite is the main show. So, that will have, his first time on Dynamite. That will have an appeal. But his first match is right up there, isn't it? His first AEW match, his first match back it's going to be absolutely huge. So, I wouldn't be giving that away. Harley said, Days, imagine these 5 matches at WrestleMania. Rock versus Roman, Edge versus Cena for one last time, Bobby versus Brock in a non-title, New Day triple threat, and AJ versus Triple H. James Chadwick said he already brought All Out on Fight weeks ago. United We Love said, Days, I think when you say why old people need to be in the title picture, I think the clue is in your reaction to Brock's return. Yeah, I'm always going to pop for Brock's return. He doesn't have to be in the title picture, though. Although I would say that I don't mind Brock being in this title match, this feud, because Paul Heyman. So if you brought Brock back at any point, and it was good and it was right. I mean, if you're going to bring him back during the Raw Women's Championship, I'm going to be confused. But if you bring him back after Seth Edge or during Roman Cena or whatever it might have been, I'm going to my reaction would have been the same. I'm a big Brock fan. I love Brock. I've always been a fan. I don't mind the fact that he doesn't wrestle every single week. I actually prefer it. I actually think it makes him a bit more special. It reminds me of early Raws when you would hardly see the champion. I mean, Bret Hart was the champion in early Raws, and you didn't see him for a month. Honestly, you didn't see him. He was off doing house shows. and they would just take the wrestlers they needed. So I kind of feel that I've never had an issue with that. But yeah, there's no denying that he's a draw, and there's no denying that, you know, you put him in the title picture right now because of the story, Paul Heyman being the story. I kind of feel that Paul Heyman was, you know, Brock's advocate. Now he isn't. Brock's coming back to, well, we're going to find out Friday, you know, what is his motivation? We're going to find out Friday because, to my knowledge, there's no issue with Brock and Roman. I mean, last time we saw Brock, he was losing to Drew McIntyre. If he should have a problem with anyone, it should be Drew. So, be interesting to see what his motivation is. I should imagine it is Paul Heyman. I would imagine that Brock's feeling slighted. He's feeling replaced. And probably doesn't appreciate, like, how arrogant Roman is, like, walking around saying that, you know, he's the head of the table, SmackDown's his show. So I would imagine that, you know, it's going to be all of that. So, yeah, it perfectly makes sense to do Brock Roman. My problem would be that I don't want Brock to be the one that beats Roman. I keep coming back to that. I want a youngster. I keep saying youngster, but I don't necessarily mean that. I mean, like, someone that's not won the title before, like Big E, or Finn Balor, who has but only held it for 24 hours. You know, I want to see one of those. I was excited when we were doing something with Cesaro. I think quite a few people were, but Cesaro didn't really work out. His promo skills are just, they're not there. They're not there. When he was doing his promos, it just felt really, really flat. And I love Cesaro. I've met him. He's a wonderful guy. I couldn't praise him enough. He's a wonderful guy, a fantastic wrestler, deserves to be in that main event scene and competing for the big one, but I don't know that you can say that he's championship material because his promos just aren't there. They're just not there. So, but I was excited to see at least them do something with him. Nakamura would be good. I'd love to see a face Nakamura versus a heel Roman. Like, I'd still love to do that. And, of course, we're building to Roman and Rock as well. So, of course, I'd love to see that. But Big E sniffing around with the briefcase, you know, that's very interesting. It is all interesting. I just hope that the end result of all of this is that we're building new stars. And who knows what the future's going to hold for Odyssey Jones, because he lost that breakout tournament, but he looks amazing. Like, I don't think he needs to spend long in NXT. I really don't. The guy is just this big ball of energy. He can put on decent enough matches. His matches might not be, I mean, I've only seen a few, might not be 5-star classics, but they don't really have to be. He's just like an even bigger Mark Henry. Like, the guy is just like a fridge. He's like the new William Refrigerator Perry. He's absolutely amazing. So I'd love to see them do something with him. I love his ring attire. I love his entrance music. I love his name. I wouldn't change anything. So I don't know that they'll call him up anytime soon, but I don't think he needs to be in NXT for long. Dazzle by Nature, shout out to you. Dazzle by Nature says, yo, buddy, I hope things are good. I had a rare day today. I was sitting on Twitter and Dana Brooke official Twitter page was retweeting my tweets and liked a video that I trended. Very cool. And that was her official one, was it? Like, with the tick and everything. Wow, that's amazing. Shout out to you, Dazzle by Nature. Very, very cool. Looks like you're in there. We might have another wedding. You know, Jason Peace is obviously moving on with his life. Maybe Dana Brooke wants to be dazzled by nature. Shout out to you, dude. Appreciate the support as well. Hope you enjoy AEW tonight. Very cool. What are the thoughts on Corbin's millions and twist for Friday's SmackDown? I don't know there'll be a twist other than potentially the Becky heel turn that's being heavily, heavily rumoured. I think if she does turn heel, that will be the talking point because they didn't turn her at SummerSlam. You know, she came down, massive pop, got in the ring, said, do you want to blow the roof off this joint? Bianca was like, let's go. she wins the match. I mean, she didn't cheat or do anything. Wins the title, celebrates, leaves. No heel turn. Bad booking, in my opinion, but no heel turn. And I think, if it is true that she wants to be a heel and WWE seem to be all right with it, then I think that'll be your twist on Friday. And then we've got, obviously, Brock on the show with Roman. Can't wait to hear from Brock, see what he's got to say. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting show. But I'm not expecting, any returns or any call-ups or anything like that. But I think the Becky heel turn could be it. And what was the other part of the question? Where's Dave? What are the thoughts on Corbin's millions? I don't know much about this. Apparently he did well in the casino or something, so I don't know. We'll find out on Friday, won't we? Whatever story they're trying to tell. I don't mind them telling stories using social media because I actually think that makes sense. Because wrestlers, if you think about it, wrestlers, we see them every week, but they're living their lives right now, so they're obviously having experiences right now. I kind of feel like it would be quite wise for WWE to try and tap in or manufacture some of those experiences that the wrestlers are having away from the ring. I think there's real value there. So, if Corbin went to the casino and won a load of money, well, that's not something that we would necessarily see on SmackDown or something we would see at SummerSlam, but it's something that's happened to that character outside of those shows. And if it's played out on social media and they've tweeted it out and all this, I kind of think that's cool. It's a nightmare to keep up with, though. So, as long as they kind of bring you up to speed on SmackDown, you might have missed this, but, WWE Twitter showing this clip on Wednesday or whatever, and then show us the clip. As long as they're doing that, I have no issue with it, as long as we're being brought up to speed with things. So, I don't know. I'll have to wait on Friday. I haven't actually seen the casino clip, but I know that he did well at the casino. Edward said, please read this. How can you get me arrested to do art like I did with Tammy Abraham? You just need to do it, bud. I know that Edward started to do pictures of wrestlers, which is really cool. But I think, just work your way. I said, work your way through the roster. I don't think you need to be given, names. Just work your way through the roster and just, tweet them out and tag the wrestlers in it. So you can find the Raw roster. If I was you, I would start Raw roster, do the picture, tweet it out, tag them in, put the name, tag them in, say, I hope you like it, and, see where it gets. Because if you actually take those pictures, put it on a really nice background, like a Raw background or something, you could have a nice little Twitter page that people would enjoy following. I've seen a few people do things like that with, art. There's that one guy, isn't there, that does bad art. Can't remember what his name is, but he does, bad art. People love him. I'm not saying yours is bad. I'm saying yours is quite interesting, but, you could get up a little following. Wickham have got Man City, have they? Did someone just tell me? I haven't seen the Carabao Cup draw. I haven't seen it. So I don't know who United have got. James Chadwick will know. Well, I'm sure a few of you will know, actually. Does anyone know who Man United got in the Carabao Cup? Dazzle by Nature said the tweet was funny. Many were jealous. And yes, it was the official Twitter Dana page. You can check it later. AEW will be cool. Dazzle by Nature, many, many, many congratulations, my friend. That's very, very cool. Who do you think will become the most popular babyface if WWE pushes them correctly? Who would be the most popular babyface if WWE pushes them correctly? That's really hard to say because if everyone's pushed correctly and everyone fulfills their potential, it's really hard to know who. I don't know that people would get behind one person, would they? Because if everyone's being pushed really well, Kevin Owens as a face would be is amazing. But then look at Riddle. And then you've got Becky. I suppose Sasha would be the easy answer because she tends to have a lot of stands. So maybe Sasha would get like the most support, mate. But I don't know. Even though Sasha's got a lot of stands, she's still never got to the level that Becky's got. Like Becky chants and Becky, like, you know, the man, and winning the main event of WrestleMania 35. Like, I don't feel that Sasha's ever got to that level. Like, that moment when Becky was standing at the top of the steps on, was it Raw? And she had blood all coming down her nose, and she was just standing there like this. She was the hottest thing in wrestling at that point. The hottest thing in wrestling. That was her at her zenith. And then, you know, it was unfortunate that I think she had a broken nose and she was ruled out of Survivor Series. So we never got the Becky Ronda match, which I think was meant to be at the Survivor Series. But that just made it even bigger. Like, that just made things bigger, because when she was ready to return, like, people were even hungrier to see her in action. So I kind of feel like she was huge at that point. And then I think after that, things started to, you know, settle down. And then we hit the pandemic, and, you know, now she's come back after being having a kid. She's come back, you know, fans were chanting for her. Obviously, it feels like a bit of a misstep. So, I don't know. Well, it's hard to say who would be the biggest. I think what they're doing with Riddle is fantastic. But if you was pushing a face Seth, he would be huge. If you was pushing a face Roman, he would be huge. If you was pushing a face AJ, he would be huge. It's hard to say who would be the biggest. Man United, West Ham, Norwich, Liverpool. I don't like that at all. Not feeling getting West Ham. United really need to win a trophy this year. It's been far too long. So, you know, getting West Ham a good... I mean, we watched them the other day destroy Leicester 4-1. Was it 4-1? Yeah, 4-1. Tielemans scored, didn't he, for Leicester? So, and Fantasy Premier League fans, football fans, I played my wild card this week. I don't know that I made the right decision. In retrospect, probably should have waited just a little bit longer. But there's too many players I want to bring in. I want to bring in Lukaku. I want to bring in Benrahma. There's players I need to bring into my team. So I just played it. This is what I'm saying. Don't worry about playing your wild card early. There's a lot of people that are doing it, I think, week 7. Because I think the next few weeks for Lukaku are a bit bumpy. Like, he's got Liverpool and Man City, and there's a lot of people like he won't get points in those games. But he might. Why won't he? Like, he's an amazing striker. Like, there's every chance that Chelsea score against Liverpool. There's every chance that Lukaku gets a goal. So, I'm not really too worried about it. Not too worried about that. So, yeah, I've played it. There's too many players. And all the time, the prices can go up with the good players. So, do you know what I mean? Anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. Dazzle by Nature said, I hope they drop this Nikki superhero stuff. She was better as a heel. I could see her with Doudrop being the British invasion. That would be interesting. Do you know, it's funny that I don't think of Doudrop and Nikki being from the same country, which is really weird. They're both Scottish, but I don't actually think of that. Because, like, Nikki's doing this superhero thing, and it's like, I don't know. I don't really think about her nationality anymore. I don't really think about anyone's nationality, in fairness. There's a few that I suppose stand out, like Drew being from Scotland, because, you know, he comes out in a kilt, so it's hard to ignore that. So I suppose there's a few. But, yeah, that's kind of interesting. You could, and actually, they'd make quite an interesting tag team. Nikki Cross and Doudrop. That could be something that they do drop in the future. Shout out to you, Dazzle by Nature. I can see why Dana Brooke retweeted your tweet now, if that's the kind of thoughts that you're throwing out there. Yes, days, Wickham. I've got Man City at the Etihad. I'm definitely going. How do you feel about that, Adam? Is that good or bad? I kind of think, like, you wouldn't want Man City, but then for a club like Wickham, no offence, when are you going to play Man City? At the Etihad? I mean, it's such a special game. I'd be a bit torn. I don't know how I'd feel. I'd be like, that's amazing, we're playing Man City at the Etihad. But then I'd think, we're out of the competition because you're going out. So, I'd be torn on that one. James Chadwick said, wonder what the crowd reaction will be if Nick Khan was in the ring. It would probably be worse than the Logan Paul reaction. Marvel Leo said, I sent you a DM of Manchester United. Yes, I just heard about West Ham. So, thanks. I will check out DMs after. Anna. Hello, Anna. Bet you're happy. Captain Kane sticking around, Anna. That's good, innit? I was quite tempted to try and see if I should bring him in, because, of course, Harry Kane tends to get like the most goals, the most assists, but might take him a while to get back up and running. Not too sure, but seems like he's staying now, so. Anyway, Anna said, did you see the Kane news? Yes, I did. He's staying for the summer only because City didn't stump up the fee. Now he's sucking up to the fans. I'm not buying it. Oh, I thought you would be. I thought you would be buying it. Oh, okay. Nah, fair play. Fair play, you know. He definitely has done damage. But I think if I was a Tottenham supporter, I'd be like, okay, this is his final season with us. Because I think he'll surely go next summer. There'll be a club next summer that people know now that he wants to move. He'll surely go. And I think if I was a Tottenham supporter, I'd be like, okay, his final season, we'll enjoy him whilst we've got him. It's a shame that all that awfulness happened, but you know, we'll get a big cash injection next summer and take it from next. I don't think he's going to stick around for the rest of his career at Tottenham. I think next summer I don't know how long his contract is. I don't know when his contract expires, but I can't see him renewing it. So there's a chance that you lose him for free, which is a disaster. You definitely don't need that. So I'm guessing because you guys didn't sell him this year, he must still have a couple of years left. So I think next summer there's a chance that he'll go. But yeah, it did. Big news. Big news. Spurs have no choice. You're not a good team, says Shola. Dave said Liverpool, Norwich is meh, but we play a weaker team with Curtis, Canate, Gomez all getting their chance to play. Ben Russell said, Days, tonight is my first time watching AEW. Ben, I bet you're not alone, you know. I reckon a lot of people are going to be tuning in for this for the first time. AEW Dynamite with CM Punk. Honestly, the problem that we've got is that I was really tempted to change the thumbnail. I'm fully aware that the thumbnail could have CM Punk on and could be a bit more eye-catching, but AEW are just nightmares when it comes to this. And there's been streams that have been hit in the past by them, so I just can't take that risk. So it's a bit like, no, do you know what I mean? I'd love to have CM Punk on the thumbnail and go big. Like we could go. Like, make the thumbnail look good. I haven't even tweeted it out. I can't even tweet it out. So it's like, ugh. So that's my problem with AEW, is that they don't have a great relationship with the YouTubers because of you know. I don't think it was their fault. I think it was like some software copyright bot that was going around going, you get a strike, and you get a strike, and you get a strike. And obviously, if you get 3 copyright strikes, by channel. So, like, you can't run that risk. So, but there will be a lot of people watching AEW for the first time tonight. I'm sure of that. That will have heard of the buzz from Friday. Anna, you don't need to keep super chatting, my friend. Don't need to keep super chatting. I'll you know, you're in my good books, Anna. I'll keep an eye out for your comments. She says he's got another 3 years left. Oh, has he really? Flip. Who's his agent? Why did he sign such a long contract? I reckon he'll want out in January. If he doesn't get his way, he'll throw a strop if a sale doesn't happen. Flip, another 3 years. I didn't realise that. I thought I thought 2. I thought this season and then 1 more season after. But 3 years left to go. Harley said, Days, the Logan Paul thing reminded me of Elias and Kevin Owens segment back in 2018 when the boos lasted for almost 10 minutes. It was crazy. Adam, I mean, what I would say is what a heel. What a heel he is. Like, that kind of reaction, it does make me think, is Vince looking at that and thinking, I could do something here? I could do something. Because if I'm Vince, I know that Logan's going to move the dial because I know that Logan's got a massive fan base. So I've got no concerns that Logan is going to bring eyes to the product. I also know that WWE fans absolutely hate him and loathe him and don't want anything to do with him and are booing him out the building. But what you've got to weigh up is that hatred so strong that people would stop watching? But that's never, that's never happened before. Heel heat like that. I mean, you've got heel heat and go away heat, haven't you? If it is go away heat that people are going to stop watching, that would be a problem. If it's like, I hate this guy, I really want to see him lose, that is exactly what you're looking for. Like, if you do Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul, that's getting big views. That's getting big views. And people are going to watch hoping that Kevin Owens wins and just have Kevin Owens win. People would love it. People would absolutely love it. I don't know. I don't know. Personally, I mean, you could have Logan go, yeah, I'll wrestle. You ain't got to be talented to wrestle, have you? I did a little bit of wrestling at high school. That's probably more than anyone here has done. Like, just have him literally going off on the microphone. Yeah, it's easy, isn't it? This just all looks easy. I mean, it's not boxing, is it? It's not like a real sport. And stuff like this on the microphone. You could just build up that hate and then just have him have a match against Kevin Owens and just get his backside handed to him. People, I mean, like, that could do some views. I don't know. As I said, it could also be go away heat that people are like, I ain't watching that. That's not what I watch wrestling for. And I would understand that. I would understand. I'm actually, even I am torn on this idea. Even I'm sat here going, it would be big, but also it would be awful. So even I'm torn on it. Peter Knight, shout out to you, my friend. Appreciate the support. William said, am I in your good books? Oh, of course. Someone like yourself has to be in my good books, mainly because I'm concerned about what you would do if you wasn't. So, yeah, you're in my good books. You're on the first page. Peter Knight, shout out to you, buddy. As I said, really, really appreciate it. We are 7 minutes away from AEW Dynamite starting. I don't know what it's going to start with. I don't know what it's opening up with. We're going to find out. So we are 7 minutes away. Anna said he asked for a raise in his wages, just under $400,000 a week. This sounds like extortion. I mean, honestly, the whole thing has been horrifically handled, hasn't it? I kind of feel like this is maybe where a big super agent probably is not worth their money. No one's worth the money they get paid, but probably can handle these things better. Because isn't it his brother that's his agent, and it's like, or a family member that's his agent? And I don't know. I don't know that any of the big super agents would have advised this that he's done. Like, it's all, I don't know. I don't know. It's he has not come out of this looking good at all, has he? At all. So he's definitely soured his image with quite a few people. I mean, I'd still take him at United, you know. I'm just going to throw that out there in case he's watching or Daniel Levy is watching. We'll have him. We'll give you 30 million and Phil Jones. You can have that, not a problem. So yeah, I think that's we'll see how it goes. But good for Tottenham that he's staying. Good for Tottenham that he's staying. That is going to, I mean, you can't deny it. That's going to massively help your season, you know. So I'm assuming CM Punk will open the show. I just want Punk Cabana confrontation. I don't know what's happening there. I don't know if they're on the good page, not on a good page. I don't know. Honestly, don't know. I would imagine that it's okay. There might be, I don't know. I mean, are they going to bump into each other backstage? If they are, it's probably best they do, actually. It's probably best that they do. Even if they're not talking or anything like that, it's probably best that they just shake hands. Just be like, you know, no, whatever. No hard feelings, you know. I'm going to be seeing you around, I'm sure. You know, and, you know, just here for business kind of a thing. One of those, just so there's no awkwardness. Because you wouldn't want that, would you? Just like backstage being all awkward and don't know. No, wouldn't. Probably best if they did do that. Poor Phil Jones, no one wants him. Kane's brother Charlie is his agent. Wrestler with Andy, shout out to you. Said, Days, do you think Bray will have to find? Will have a Fiend-like character if he comes to AEW? I think that they will ask Bray what he wants to do. Or Wyndham what he wants to do. Because I think the best thing to do with Bray is to sit down and say, right, we're not in a rush. It's not like we need you on TV next week, yeah? You've got time. Go, like, if you haven't already, think of the story that you want to tell. And we will commit to it. So think of the vignettes, think of the characters. I think that he really enjoyed working with Tom Savini. So I could see there being another Fiend-like character, yes, because I think that he would probably want to go back to Tom Savini to get another mask. And I think he probably has made some relationships that he really wants to continue with. So I would imagine that he'll want to get another mask, a new mask. I think he probably knows the power of the merchandise sales, the power of social media, the fact that people enjoy dressing up as the character. I mean, there's so many people. I saw so many pictures of people dressing up as the Fiend. There was one the other day. Do you remember Riddle on Raw the other night came out and saw like a little Fiend and he was like, whoa. Yeah, I think you would want to tap into that. Again, there's clearly an appetite still for that. How it sits with AEW fans, I'm not sure. I think you need to. I'm gonna say you need to stay away from the supernatural stuff. Of course, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that you need to make it edgy. You need to make it psychological. You need to make it quite dark. Like, I mean, I love the films like Saw, where it could happen. You know, people are taken, put in like an awful situation, and you know these things can happen. Like, you know, these are people where they're trapped in a room, and the only way out would be to saw their own leg off. That's the only way they can escape. Either that, or you're just stuck in that room. There's no other way out. Like, there's no key to get out. You can't get out of the chains. Like, if you want to get out of the room, you're gonna have to do this. So, like, I kind of like that. That to me is scarier. Like, that is scarier because that could actually happen. And I would love it if Bray had like an alter ego, had a Fiend-like character, and then like went a bit horror and went a little bit like Saw, or you know, things along those lines, things that could happen, and kind of took it really psychological. I think that would really get over. I mean, you've got to remember that this is still an audience that caters for kids as well. AEW obviously have got Orange Cassidy that's popular with youngsters, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus. Like, I'm not saying we're going to do a remake of Saw. I'm just saying that I would take it in that direction. I wouldn't go that far, but I would take it in that direction. I think you could still have like an alter ego and everything. So, yeah, it doesn't have to be Firefly Funhouse with puppets and stuff like that. You can move away from that. But I think there will still be a Fiend-like character. Yes, I do. Just merch sales, figures. I mean, Jazzwares. I should imagine Jazzwares are on the phone right now going, you're going to have something like the Fiend, yeah? Yeah, you are. No, this isn't a conversation. You are. You are, because we need to sell figures. Right, we should be going over to the show. Here we go. Austin said, it's time. 5 rounds. It is time. I'll do a Fiend with a new name. Yeah, it probably would have to be with a new name because of WWE having the rights to the Fiend. Right. We are live. Let's turn this down a little bit. We've just got the intro at the moment. Uh, 2 hours of Dynamite instead of 1 hour of Rampage. It is a big game for Wickham. From a money point of view, as a fan, I'm kind of scared we're going to get battered. Hey, it's how it goes, isn't it? Right. Here we go. Flames shooting into the air. Right, let's go. Let's go, baby. Right. Later tonight, Punk. Yeah, Punk later tonight. So, let him in. The crowd looks excited. The crowd are red hot, man. The crowd are really, really up for this. Red Velvet and Jamie Hayter. So, Schiavone is God sign in the crowd. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. I still don't know what we're starting with. Up next, Orange Cassidy versus Matt Hardy. Orange Cassidy versus Matt Hardy. I mean, it makes sense. I didn't think they would start with Punk. Ooh. I really like Orange Cassidy with Chris Statlander. She's not there actually, is she? Is she? No? Where is she? We've got Orange Cassidy, we've got Chuck Taylor and Wheeler Yuta. But yeah, I really like those two. I wish they were in like a little relationship. I don't know if they've teased it. I haven't really seen much on Dynamite. But that would be cool. I wish we had some backstage segments. Do you remember when... What was he showed her how to do something? Was it like how to sit on a chair? I remember seeing a clip of him showing her how to sit on a chair or something backstage because she was obviously an alien at the time and like wasn't sure how to use it, and he showed her how to use it. It was fun. I mean, like the alien thing was weird, but like if they were doing like little vignettes like that, that could be quite fun. Here comes Matt Hardy. Who was the other best friend? I didn't see who it was. I was just looking for Chris Statlander, if I'm being honest. Who is the MC, please? Who is the MC? What do you mean? Commentary's the same people as always. Just the coolest. My favourite wrestler is Orangutan Cassidy, says Tim. I think Y2J will be announcing he's going away to go on tour. I agree. Days, I wish it was Bobby versus Sheamus at Extreme Rules. Priest Bobby, I don't know how I feel about title versus title. They should lay off each other. It's Bobby Sheamus at Extreme Rules and not next week. Okay. There we go. Let's turn it up. It's a loud crowd. It's a loud crowd. Look at the sunglasses squad in the front row. Oh, yeah. Lot of sunglasses in the front row. Are they doing that for Orange Cassidy, I'm guessing? Kicks coming in by Cassidy. Just deletes. It's a weird way to start Dynamite, isn't it? So, little kicks by Cassidy, and Matt Hardy is saying no. Puts his hands into his pockets. pulls out money. Big Money Matt pulls out money. Right, and drop kick by Orange Cassidy. Kip up by Orange Cassidy. So we're up and running. Matt, this is entertainment like WWE, says 1987 big fan. Puts a bit of money. There's money all over the ring. Suicide dive. Not great by Cassidy. Gets picked up. Side slam by Matt Hardy on the outside. I will delete you, says Justin. Would anyone be interested in a Fiend horror movie, says William. Face first. Well, I mean, we won't see that now that he's out of WWE, but could he go on to do with his new character some kind of a film? That could be an interesting... I don't know what his new character's going to be, but I've got to think that it's going to be dark and twisted, so I'd be down for seeing that. An AEW film would be the next, or one of the things that they've yet to do. They've done the video game, they've got figures, they've got a couple of TV shows, so for them to do a motion picture might make some sense. It needs to be a good story though, in order to attract non-wrestling fans. AEW is a mix of pro wrestling and entertainment, and WWE is entertainment. William said, this is like watching ECW. Let Him In said he was too creative for WWE. They couldn't keep up. CCSYT said, did you see the news about Pat? 104 degrees and positive. Hope he gets better soon. I haven't seen that news. Don't want to see anyone ill. So, yeah, I hope he gets better. List of Jericho said, Fight did a film with Moxley and Christian. That's true, yeah. It was like a cage thing, wasn't it? Like an MMA thing. I never saw it, but I saw the advert for it. Kicks to the back by Matt Hardy as Orange Cassidy is down in the ring. Hardy picks up and slams down Cassidy. Goes over to the corner, drops an elbow. Anna said, I missed Raw. I saw highlights. What the hell happened to Karrion? He got kinky. We got kinky Karrion Kross. That's what we got. Wild. And very sexy as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's not the direction I would have gone, or the direction many of others would have gone either. Kross is now kinky Kross, says Brian. Not quite the hot start that I was expecting, says Esteban. Days, can you do the Paul Woodley press conference at 6 p.m. tonight? Is there a I didn't know there was a press conference tonight. I didn't know there was a press conference. Is there one on 6 p.m. UK time, is that? Because if so, yes. Because I'm all over Jake Paul's fight with Tyron Woodley. I'm looking forward to it. So we're doing that on Sunday, and we're doing the weigh-in. So if there is the final press conference, then yes, we would do it. Frenchie said, Austin, did you hear that Braun and Murphy are going to Impact? I heard that. Well, I didn't hear Braun, but I heard that Murphy could be going there. And Bray. Apparently they're interested in Bray as well. Right, we've got Matt Hardy grabbing the arms of Orange Cassidy, pulling back on the arms. From Killer Kross to Karrion Kross to Kinky Kross, says Ben. Yes, 6 p.m. UK time, and it's free on Fight TV. We could do that. We could definitely do that. What return are you most excited for, Brock or Punk? Oh, wow. That's interesting, actually, because I'm probably more excited for Brock, because Brock's first match will surely be against Roman with the whole Paul Heyman thing, whereas Punk versus Darby Allin, that'll be a nice exhibition, but it's maybe Brock. I feel bad saying that out loud. Like, the return that I was most excited for was Punk. Yeah? I said at the time, there's nothing. Maybe only The Rock coming back for casuals could be bigger, but there's nothing bigger than Punk's return. But I don't expect, like... I mean, I would imagine Punk versus Darby Allin's going to be an amazing match. I've no doubt it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm not expecting it to be, like, match of the year, but I'm expecting it to be a really good match. But I'd imagine there'll be a bit of ring rust in there. I'd imagine there'll be... Even if he's been working hard trying to get back up to speed, I'd imagine that there'll be... You know, I think it would be a bit harsh to expect Punk to deliver a 5-star match. So... I am excited for it. I mean, I can't wait to see it. But because it's just an exhibition, you know, the Brock Roman one, that's for the belt. And that might be, well, I'm presuming it's going to be for the belt. And that is potentially going to see Roman finally lose the title. And that's a story that's been going on for, you know, since last year. So, I don't know. If this was like a red-hot feud for CM Punk, then I'd, of course, watch that. But it's just an exhibition. It's just a nice little exhibition thing. I don't know. If they were both on at the same time, I would really struggle to know which one to watch. I'd want to flick between two. I'd have to flick between them. That's hard. That's a really good question. It should be Punk. My answer should be Punk. But it's not. My answer is that I'd want to flick between them. Just because the Brock-Roman story, the Roman story's been amazing. And Brock could be the one to beat him. Oof, nasty blood. Lots of blood from Matt Hardy here. Lots of blood. If it was a Mega Punk, I'd watch that. Yeah. If it was the title involved and it was like a Mega Kenny Omega versus CM Punk, there's not even a decision to be made. The only reason that I'm like, ooh, is because Darby Allin, CM Punk, amazing match. But it's just an exhibition. It's just two faces going against each other. And I expect Punk to win it. I wouldn't expect Punk to lose that. But I still expect it to be brilliant. Lot of blood coming down the face of Matt Hardy. Oh, Swanton by Orange Cassidy. He even pays tribute to Jeff. But he does a Swanton with his hands in his pockets. And now he's throwing out a few deletes. Kick to the midsection, looking for a twist of fate, but couldn't do it. Gets driven back into the corner. Matt Hardy driving his shoulder into the midsection of Orange Cassidy. This match wasn't grabbing me at first, but it's actually got to a nice little spot here. I think the blood helped. I think that Swanton moment was cool. So, yeah, I think this could be it. That is nasty. Look at it. Kick to the midsection. Looking for a twist of fate, but couldn't get it. Oh! Orange Cassidy gets it. OC gets it. 1, 2. Oh, it's like a 2.9. 2.9. Here we go. Orange back in the corner, looking for the orange punch. Goes for it, misses. Kick to the midsection. So, Matt Hardy looking for a finisher. No joy. Step through. 1, 2, 3. Don't like that pin. Orange Cassidy wins with a pin. The match isn't bad. The blood helps. I like the Swanton. There's some nice moments in it. It's not bad. Pin's a bit weird. So they're both fighting. He manages to get down Hardy. He steps through, puts his hands in his pockets, and gets a pin. It's a little bit like a roll-up finish in a way. but a bit more creative. Right, we've got Malachi. You're going to look me in the eyes. And you're going to say, I am sorry. Straight to a brawl, blood and everything. AEW is better than WWE, says Big Rod. CCSYT said he's out indefinitely. They didn't even give him a time frame. SmackDown won't be the same for a few weeks. JJB Gaming says, who has more charisma, Punk, Roman, or Brock? Who's got more charisma, Punk, Roman, or Brock? I would think Punk. Not Brock. Jericho up next. I think Roman's doing better, but I don't think he's the same level as Punk. Malachi's got more charisma than everyone, says Mike. D-Gamer said, that was pretty good. I'd like a clean pin, but not much of a problem. Richie said hello. Hello. Hope you are well, Richie. Jericho coming up next. Jericho promo. Jericho promo. Does Jericho announce that he's going away for a while here? I would think so, yes. I saw 2 deer walking in my yard. Amazing. JJB Gaming said it's easily Punk. His promo game is too good. I wish people would stop comparing WWE and AEW. They are completely different companies. I do agree with that. WWE sports entertainment. AEW try to do more pro wrestling. They definitely have sports entertainment moments, like the start of this match with Orange Cassidy doing his little kicks. I mean, that's not wrestling. So AEW definitely have their sports entertainment moments as well, but not as much as, you know, what we see from WWE. Dazzle by Nature said, Jake Paul for €29 on BT Sport box office, not a chance. I'm glad the NFL preseason, glad it's on Sky Sports. Yeah, I mean, I'm watching the Jake Paul thing. I think Tyron Woodley could be a real problem. I mean, if he knocks out Tyron Woodley, I mean, you already had to hold your hands up and say, look, he got in there with Ben Askren. Askren's a former fighter, you know, UFC fighter, former champion in a few MMA companies. And, you know, you have to put your hands up and say, fair play. He's got in there with a proper fighter, not a boxer, but a proper fighter. This would be a next step up now. Tyron Woodley was able to win a belt in UFC. So, you know, he is someone that is, in my eyes, the next step up from Ben Askren. He's got a bit more on his striking. It's a good choice, though. It's a good choice, again, by Jake Paul. Because, again, it's a credible opponent, but it's not a boxer. It's not a boxer. It's not someone that has trained on his boxing. But as Tyron Woodley has said, he used to fight out in the streets. You know, he's had an upbringing whereby, you know, he's had to use his hands and, you know, he's no stranger to throwing fists. So this is definitely the biggest challenge that Jake Paul has ever faced. So I'm intrigued by it. I think every time we've done these fights, I've got enough out of them, enough entertainment out of them to want to watch the next one. Right, here we go. Jericho making his way out. I'm kind of enjoying the Jake Paul fights, but if he loses, then it's over, says Shola. Yeah. As soon as he loses, a big part of the appeal goes away. A big part of the appeal goes away. He would need to face like a decent name to get the appeal back. Do you know what I mean? He would need to face someone that was like, wow, yeah, okay, I want to see that. So, yeah, as soon as he loses, then there'll definitely be a lot of people that will be like, right, that's it, I've seen him lose now. And that people just want the gif. People just want the moment that he loses. Hopefully, if he gets knocked out, people are just desperate for that. Because as soon as he loses and gets knocked out, it's going to be shared all over Twitter. All over social media. Forever. I mean, it'll haunt him forever. That's what he's gambling with at the moment. Is, you know, being haunted by that image for the rest of his life. That moment that he does get knocked out. But that's the sport, you know. That's the way it goes. Right. Days after Punk faces Darby, who do you think Punk will go with next? Well, I don't know, to be honest. I'm not sure what feuds they'd have lined up. I mean, could we see Punk Miro? Could we be building to that for the TNT title? I'm not sure. I don't know if you want to do Punk Omega. Like, you want to save that, really. Punk Omega is the match everyone's waiting to see, aren't they? Right, Jericho said this has been one of the biggest weeks in AEW history. Let's see what he's got to say then. Everyone's been celebrating except for me. Aww. Aww. Because last week, I didn't. I lost. For the third time, I lost to MJF, and even worse, I tapped out. There's a lot of Punk shirts, as you can imagine, in the crowd. Hands down, the best current theme in the entirety of wrestling, says Jensen. Jericho tapped out. I wonder how Colt Cabana feels about Punk being back. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Jericho said, people ask him, why do you keep doing this and putting yourself in these positions? And he said, this is who I am. This is what I do. But I failed. Jericho says, beat MJF, just keeps repeating in his head, and he hasn't. Someone who became a fan when it was the Graces, Frankie Liddell, Patrick Smith, that time frame, when Floyd was running around arguing with Kenny on ESPN, I have no problem saying that Jake can box good, said CCSYT. Jericho needs a better blowout and a better dye job. Love him anyway, though. Okay, so Jericho said that he won't stop attacking MJF. There's got to be a way to end this. This is my proposal. One more match. One final fight at All Out. So one final fight at All Out. One more match. One more match. If I can't beat MJF, maybe I don't belong in AEW. If I can't beat MJF, then maybe I don't deserve to be Le Champion. If you beat me, I'll do commentary full-time on Rampage. I'll never wrestle in AEW again. So if you beat me, I'll never wrestle again. I wonder if that is something he's considering. I wonder if he's thinking, like, I'll go on to commentary. I really like the commentary line because you can see that as his future. You can see that as his future. But does he really not want to wrestle Punk? What does it say? MJF 3. Does it say Jerry below 0? MJF said, just leave me alone. That shirt is an instant classic. All Out Jericho versus MJF. Jericho out of AEW as a wrestler, only as a commentator. I can see a future with that, yeah? He says, you know that if you wanted to stay relevant, you needed a rub from the youngest, fastest rising star. Guess what, Chris? That's a great line. I tapped you out quicker than someone listening to a Fozzy CD. That's a great line. That's a great line. Fozzy CD. Punk and Jericho have wrestled dozens of times. I doubt that Punk would do it again. They've never done it in AEW, though, have they? To AEW fans and younger fans, you'd think they'd probably want that in their library. Like, all their WWE stuff, AEW can't use those clips. So, I don't know. I mean, like, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm thinking, like, I want to get the most out of CM Punk. I'm paying him a lot of money. Him against Jericho is billboard, even though they've done it many times. Okay, so is he gonna accept? He's still talking. He's still going. He's still going. MJF is still going. You want this match, bud? I'm better than you. And you know it. Okay. Why is MJF screaming? That's annoying, says Brony. Amazing promo, says Shola. But what have I missed? I left to try and find a Commonwealth stream. A Commonwealth stream? I don't know what that is. Right, we got the Varsity Blondes. We are a family. I like Varsity Blondes. They got a good look. Who plays MJF's Burberry Bills? Why do they wear jackets but no pants? These are all fantastic questions. You lot asking the big questions tonight. Okay, we got the Lucha Bros making it. So is that match now? Lucha Bros versus Varsity Blondes. Fenix. Here we go. Lucha Bros versus Varsity Blondes. Seeing as you do many streams, how about a video showing us your routine setting up streams? I'm not sure people would be that interested, to be honest. it'd appeal. That was Varsity Blonde's best promo. I like that. I really like them. Yeah, I really like them. Right, Penta's come down dressed as Joker. Varsity Blonde's making their way down. What time is CM Punk on? We don't know. They just said later, but we don't actually know when it's going to be. Every time MJF opens his mouth, I just want to punch him, says James Chadwick. Daniel said Black and Punk were training MMA with Anthony Pettis today. Julia has got some nice pom-poms, says Spike Hunter. Okay, the Bucks are coming down. Dynamite stream is skipping like crazy. Mine's okay. The Elite, yeah, it is the Elite. Well, is it all of the Elite? We've got Bucks, we've got Good Brothers. There's no Don Callis or Kenny. Yeah, so they're on the entrance stage. The Bucks taking a seat. Looks like they're going to watch this. This is obviously the title elimination tournament thing. Right, we're about to get underway then with Lucha Bros versus Varsity Blondes. CM Punk will probably be near the end, yep, unless for some reason he appears twice. I wouldn't expect him to appear twice, to be honest. Near the end. I mean, they might be tempted to put him out there in half an hour. Not sure. The thing is, as soon as he's been on, then that'll be it, won't it? As soon as CM Punk's been on and said what he's got to say, like that'll be that. So, Punk has repeatedly said he's a huge fan of Brian Pillman Jr. in multiple interviews as someone that he would like to face. CCSYT says, is Julia Hart related to Hitman? Brett has been in AEW before, and Brian Pillman Jr. thinking it would have a second gen thing. I don't think she is related, no. I don't believe she is. Varsity Blondes. I get tired of seeing the Good Brothers. I don't think they should be on every week. Yeah. They don't do it for me at all. I like the Bucks. I like the Bucks entrance music's cool, and when they come out and they're healing it up and they're really annoying. But Good Brothers have just never done it for me. I mean, they were cool in New Japan, and then like you was hoping that they would do something in WWE, but just we never got anything really decent out of them in WWE. CM Punk makes his first Dynamite appearance. They're just promoting that in the corner. Penta's in the ring. Nice super kick by Penta. Oof. Punk versus Darby at All Out will be a classic, says Nathan. Big Rod 10 says, go Bucks, fear the deer, protect the young, go Young Bucks, best tag team of all time. Sierra Miedo. Super kicks, yes. Good Brothers are good, but to get them, you've got to watch Being the Elite. I like the Blondes. Varsity Blondes are cool. Kind of like an old school tag team. Picture in picture at the moment. We are just going over to commercial break. Fenix tags himself in. Nice double super kick in the corner. Fenix up top. Oh. Penta has had that Joker attire for a while. John said Matt Hardy's bleeding was a bit scary to watch. There was a lot of blood. I mean, there's every chance he's broke his nose and done some real damage there. Because there was everywhere. It was a crimson mask. We got a trios match still to come. Over in the corner. Nice kick to the midsection. Varsity Blonde starting to come back into this as Fenix goes against the ropes over the top. Spinebuster, is it? Yeah, gets slammed down. Let's stop and appreciate the Pillman Jr. mullet. Some wonderful hair on display. Loving Penta's Joker-inspired attire, said Dave. Whack-In said, would you make varsity blondes like the Hollywood blondes? Well, I think they're definitely leaning on that. So, yeah, that's definitely like a tag team that comes to mind when you think of like inspiration for the varsity blondes. I think I just think they're a proper old school tag team. I don't quite know, like, I don't know when they're going to pull the trigger on them. I kind of feel like Julia Hart is a good addition. I love the matching ring attire. I love the team name. I love the jackets. I love the look of them. I just kind of think like they're just being built up quite nicely in the background. They're a little bit FTR. Like, they're just like two really good wrestlers. You don't get flips out of them. They just do proper mat-based wrestling. So, yeah, Hollywood Blondes definitely come to mind. FTR come to mind as well. But then, like, just old school tag teams, you know, Brainbusters, people like that, come to mind. But, just, they don't feel like big stars. They just feel like a tag team that's just kind of doing their thing in the background. Like, maybe if they win this tournament, if they beat the Lucha Bros here, go on to win this thing, you know, that might be what they need. And then they go on to face the Young Bucks. Days, is AJ Lee coming back to wrestling? Do you think the women's division has passed her by? I haven't heard that she's coming back. There's no rumours that she's coming back. I think she's quite happy away, to be honest. She does a lot in regards to like mental health and comics, which aren't connected, but I know that she speaks a lot about like mental health, bipolar, because I think she's struggled with like mental health issues. So I know that she's done a lot of stuff there. She does a lot of stuff about like empowering women and like comic books that she did like the Glow comic, which I don't know if she's still doing, but I think she's happy. I don't think that she's like looking to desperately return. She could come back as a one-off. Do you know what I mean? She could be like a nice surprise in the future for like a women's battle royal. I wouldn't rule that out. But her coming back for a full-time return, I don't see it. I mean, there's no rumours or reports of it, so at this stage, I've got to think not. But could she come back as a one-off? Sure, why not? Get back in the ring, like on the entrance stage, wave to the fans. Like, yeah, I could definitely see that happening. Her being in like a women's casino battle royal, I could see that. Penta botches that spot each week, says James. Has anyone played the new AEW GM game? I started to, and then I got a bit bored. I haven't. No, I haven't. Volta, wetter than an otter's pocket. AJ Lee would not come back to wrestle because of past injuries, says Brian. CCSYT said Varsity Blondes are about a year or two out minimum. Been around for a year. Wrestle all the time on Dark, but they're green. But they do have a good thing, so give it some time. 1, 2, kick out. Kick out by Lucha Bros. Yeah, they're good. They're just, as I said, you're right. They're rumbling in the background. They're on Dark. They're on Elevation. Looking for a springboard. Big strike. Big elbow. 1, 2. Varsity Blondes. And Penta makes the save. JRs don't usually last long. Happy doing my own thing. Miss Clown 1, I hope you are well. I'm still shocked that AEW or WWE haven't signed Tessa. I don't know. I think there's a bit too much heat there. I don't think they're looking for that kind of PR. Because you know as soon as you bring her in, Twitter's exploding. 1, 2, 3. Lucha Bros win. Lucha Bros win. Varsity Blondes are defeated. Matt Hardy is all delete. Right, we've got Jurassic Express in the crowd. Reggie, shout out to you, my friend. Hope you are well. Reggie Simmons says, love you, brother Days. Shout out to you, Reggie. Hope you're well, buddy. Hope you're enjoying Dynamite. Big announcement from Jericho. Not a bad first match. This match had a purpose. Young Bucks making their way down. We've got Jurassic Express in the ring. So, the winners of Lucha Bros and Jurassic Express will go on to face the Young Bucks at All Out. Here we go. They just pushed them into them. Has CM Punk already appeared? Exercise and Freedom? No, not yet. No, we've not had CM Punk yet. Don't know when we're getting him. They just keep saying coming later. I mean, it could be that he closes the show, but no CM Punk yet. Okay, so Fenix and Jungle Boy suicide diving and wiping out the Young Bucks. 8-man tag coming up. Elite versus Lucha Bros and Jurassic, says Blazed Radio. Where did the brawl counter go? To be honest, I thought it was starting to become a bit of a distraction. So I just popped it out the way. Pac versus Andrade El Idolo. Well, we're just seeing Andrade. That'd be a great match. I'm looking forward to that. Pac versus Andrade El Idolo with Chavo Guerrero Jr. in his corner. CM Punk against Darby Allin as well. Kenny Omega taking on Christian Cage at All Out. Dr. Britt Baker takes on Chris Statlander for the AEW Women's Championship. Did I know this? I don't know where that's come from. I don't remember that. I thought she was feuding with Nia Jax, with Nyla Rose. Right, Jamie Hayter is making her way down, so we're going over to the ladies' match. Still waiting for CM Punk. Okay, Jamie Hayter is about to take on Red Velvet. Here's Reba and Britt Baker. Where could the Coyotes move? I have no idea. All Out sounds like it's going to be great. Looks a good card, yeah. Looks a good card. CM Punk on the match cards. Statlander is at All Out. Yeah, here is Jamie Hayter. Okay, so they're really putting her over, saying that she's one of the toughest, most fierce competitors. So they're really putting her over. Here's Red Velvet. Straight out of your mama's kitchen. She's got an apron. Okay, here's Red Velvet. Red Velvet needs to turn heel, said Attitude Era fan. Paul Reba's getting replaced, says Zachary. Well, we're about to get underway with Jamie Hayter versus Red Velvet. Days, when do you think AEW will put the title on Punk? I don't think not this year. I think that it could happen at some point next year, but we're not in any rush. We're not in any rush. I think there's so many matches that you can do before you even get to like the AEW title. I mean, honestly, once Punk's got it, how are you going to get it off him? I don't think you could give Punk a little title reign. I think him going for the title is going to be a massive match and something that you really need to save. Really need to save that. We could still be here, like, all out next year. Could be when Punk goes for the belt. Like, honestly, you could wait another 12 months. If you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. No worries. No worries. Shout out to you, Miss Clown. How has AEW been? It's been all right. It's been all right. Jericho announcement's probably the big thing that's happened so far tonight. Says that he'll face MJF at All Out, and if he loses, he'll never wrestle in AEW again. So that's the big announcement. Rest of it's been all right. Keep wrestling alive. Get vaxxed is a sign that's in the front row. It is, yeah. It is. Here we go. Red Velvet suicide dive. Suicide dive onto Jamie Hayter. JR's like, again! She's going again! Another suicide dive! So many suicide dives already. Do you know what? We don't need a brawl counter. We need a suicide dive counter. I feel like we've seen at least 4 in the first 47 minutes. Maybe 5. Red Velvet thrown into the ring post. She goes down. Britt Baker grabs her, chucks her into the edge of the ring. Britt Baker hurls her into the railing. Red Velvet goes down. Britt Baker has got a foot on the back of the head of Red Velvet. That looked pretty brutal. Chucks Red Velvet back into the ring. Jamie is an amazing wrestler. I've watched her a lot in Stardom. She's the longest reigning SWA champion in Stardom. She's got a bright future, says Notorious Nightmare / Switchblade. Very cool. I've not seen much of her. I think, didn't they say her record was 1-1? 4 arm strikes by Red Velvet. That's good information, though. I appreciate that. Back elbow by Jamie. And Red Velvet slumps down to the other side now. How many ears does Captain Kirk have? 3. The right ear, the left ear, and the final front ear. Nice. I like that from Jamie. That's good. She's actually counting with the referee. There should be wrestlers. That could be a good gimmick for someone. Like, someone wins by count out. And they actually count, like, and get the crowd to join in. Like, count with them. They could be a heel or a face. But that could be quite interesting. Rather than going for a submission or going for a pin, they want to hurt their opponent so bad that they can't even get back into the ring with a 10 count. I like that. It's kind of quite a brutal thing. And then they count along with the referee. Yeah, you could do something with that. Hangman is still the guy to beat Kenny, says Daniel. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know anything about her other than outside of AEW, her and Britt are major rivals. I want Punk to wait a couple of years before he wins the AEW title. Maybe every time he has a title match, someone keeps screwing him for taking their spot, says Walid. That's interesting. Yeah, I agree. I definitely... A couple of years, maybe. I mean, it's going to be hard to go that long. That you do run the risk of these fans kind of losing patience of him never going for it. But and plus also because of his age, you know, I mean, how old is he? 43. I suppose you potentially have still got him for another 5 years or so. But once he starts getting to 50, don't know then. Don't know. Then I don't know. I mean, how old's Jericho? Let me have a look. Let's have a look at Jericho's age and compare it to Punk's. Rick E, 245. That's a fantastic donation, my friend. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the support, man. I will get to your comment in a second. I just want to have a look at Jericho. Chris Jericho. See how old he is. Chris Jericho is 50. Jericho is 50. And I think like you would say, he's probably looking at winding it up. I would think, you know, his match quality isn't quite as it was. He's had a title run. He could have another title run, but I kind of feel like Jericho is winding to the end, like coming to the end. He might go for another couple of years. But I feel like him being the person with the belt that's going to carry the company, I don't know there's a need for that now. There's a lot of other options, and he's already done it. So I sort of feel like when you get into 50, CM Punk is 42. Potentially you got 8 years then. He's a bit younger than I thought. Although saying that, he will be coming up to 43 very soon. In October, he'll be 43. So you could get another 7 years. So if you waited a couple of years, that's not a problem. But there is, I mean, he was away for 7 years. There is a window. Oof, backbreaker. Yeah, you could wait a couple of years. Rick E, 245 said, who should be the one to beat Britt Baker for the title? Jamie Hayter wins. Who should be the person to beat Britt Baker for the title? I would go Thunder Rosa. I think their match was amazing. A lot of people say their match was match of the year. Might even still be match of the year for some. I think you've got a great history there. And I think that Thunder Rosa, now that she is, you know, All Elite, she's in the company. She's not in, I don't believe she's in NWA anymore. Statlander isn't bad, but I don't think she's the one to do it. I think Thunder Rosa wouldn't be the worst shout. But here's Statlander. We didn't see her earlier. She's come running down. I like her boots and her trousers. She's got a bit of a punk vibe. She's left the belt in the ring, and Statlander grabs the title. What's your gut feeling on Adam Cole? I don't know. My gut feeling is probably leaning more AEW, but 60-40 AEW. If he stays in WWE, I wouldn't be surprised. If they turn around and give him a good contract and reassure him that they've got big plans, and this has come direct from Vince, I would imagine that's a difficult thing to not go with. Because he can, I've said this before, he can always go to AEW. They'll always take him. But how many opportunities at main event in WrestleMania will he have? And if Vince turns around and says, look, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a big contract. I'm going to invest in you, and you will go for the title at next year's Mania, or we will build up to that. If he puts it in the contract, in writing, then if he backs it up and stands by what he says, then I think Adam Cole would be foolish to walk away from that, because it would surely be more money. And, you know, surely everyone dreams of, like, winning the WWE title at WrestleMania, or certainly youngsters that were growing up. Maybe now kids growing up dream of winning the AEW belt, but I would imagine Adam Cole dreamt of winning the WWE title. So, I don't know, my gut feeling is probably 60-40 AEW. But coming up next, CM Punk. Now, this makes sense, because obviously the later you get, the worse the ratings get. So, you know, if they want a good rating, then, you know, you need to kind of get him out there sort of as early as possible. You can't bring him out first, because everyone will switch off. There's a lot of people that are just waiting for CM Punk. And that is coming up next. CM Punk coming up next. So we'll see what Punk's got to say. We'll see if Darby Allin comes down, if we get a bit of a face-to-face, or if a heel interrupts, or what can they do different to Rampage? Like, what can they do different? What can they do tonight that we haven't already seen that's going to get a bit of a buzz? Be interesting. They're going to split up the Dark Order. Dark Order with Hangman problems. Why are they putting Punk next? They're putting him next because, like, if they do it at 10, then the rating, people will have gone to bed and all that kind of stuff. Like, you've teased it for an hour, and now here he is. I mean, I'm seeing actually on the fight chat, people are saying as soon as Punk's done, I'm going to bed. So I think they know as soon as Punk comes out, people are going. But the longer you leave it, you're probably losing people anyway. Probably people that are like, I'll just catch it on YouTube tomorrow. So bringing him out, and it's a great way to keep people around from hour 1 going into hour 2. So it kind of helps set up your second hour as well. So it makes sense. Adam Cole could come down the ramp with Punk stood in the ring. I think he's still under contract. There's a split opinion as to when his contract expires, but I know that he's being advertised for something with WWE, not a match, just something online, just like I don't know, some kind of video that they did. But yeah, some people are saying he's out of contract now. I think wasn't it PW Insider said his contract expired after TakeOver, but Fightful are reporting that his contract expires at the end of this week. So a few conflicting reports. I'm not expecting Adam Cole here at all. That'll be a massive shock. Friday is Adam Cole's contract, apparently, says Dave. We want Brock, said Lone Star Friend. The fight chat is mostly Europeans. It is quite late. It is late. It's coming up to 2 o'clock, yeah. 2 a.m. He's been performing without a contract for a few weeks, says Jay Swiss. Apparently he negotiated an extension. That's what I heard. They're showing a replay of Rampage. So we're seeing clips of him walking out on at Rampage. Incredible scenes. CM Punk signs. Crowd going crazy. Here we go. Tony said, I'm a wrestling announcer, but I'm a fan first. We witnessed one of the greatest moments ever. And we're ready to do it again. Here's the best in the world. Here is the best in the world. CM Punk. I mean, that's great, isn't it? If you're there. Great. I mean, so we've got Cult of Personality playing, of course. I was there. All I got was this ice cream bar. Someone's actually taken the ice cream bar and stuck it on the sign. So Punk's come out. He's got his shirt. He's got a jacket over the top this time. Looking out to the crowd. They're not losing their minds as much. Well, we're not getting that many shots, in all fairness. I mean, it's hot, isn't it? I mean, like, I feel like Friday was the euphoric release. There's a big CM Punk chant now. Yeah, we've not managed to capture, like, people, like, you know what I mean? It would have been good if we could have got a bit more of that. Best in the world sign. He's still got a big smile on his face, though. I want to see more of the crowd. I want to see what's he seeing. This is better. This is the shot I want. So you've got the crowd in the background as CM Punk makes his way down to the ring. Do you know, it's just a sign of the times, isn't it? You look out to the crowd, it's just everyone doing this. CM Punk! CM Punk! No fake crowd noises on AEW. That's a good sign. Someone's made the shirt design. That looks good. Right, here we go. Tony in the ring with CM Punk. What an honor it is to share the ring. Those are some crazy trousers that Tony's wearing. Big CM Punk chance. Big CM Punk chance. That's good. I like that. That's good. The CM Punk chant was so loud. He asked a question and CM Punk was like, "I can't hear you." He's milking the crowd really well here. He's really milking them. If the crowd know that they're interrupting a segment, they're gonna keep doing it. And they know that they're having an influence on this segment. You're just a little bit too loud. He said, "I'm kidding. I want all of that and more." Right. This crowd isn't dead. It's just late. Alright, we're just waiting to find out what brought him back. The crowd won't stop chanting CM Punk. Yeah, it's to be expected. Somebody over here said it. It's Penta El Cero Miedo. It's Ray Fenix. It's Brian Pillman Jr. It's Jungle Boy. Yeah, he's just going through a list. He's like, what brought me back was Penta, it was Ray Fenix, it was Jungle Boy. All great games, but they're all great names, but one guy. Oh, is he gonna go with that? Is he gonna say Darby, or is he gonna say Tony Khan? So I'm gonna go ahead and retire the nickname Voice of the Voiceless because I don't need to be that anymore. This place has a voice. This place has a voice. Okay. Darby is in his sights. Yeah, I love this. I love this. I love that. I said that if he comes in and says that he loves AEW, he loves everything about it, that's bland. That's bland. But if he comes in and says, I have to wrestle Darby Allin, I love that. It's brilliant. Because that is just putting Darby over. Do you know what I mean? So big. You know, the reason CM Punk's come back is because of Darby Allin. I mean, that is just huge for him. That is huge. I look at Darby Allin and I see myself. He says you're so reckless that it's to the point of destruction. It's like you want to end yourself. He's not the strongest, but god damn it, he's got heart. Honestly, this is like all of Darby Allin's birthdays and Christmases come at once. This is massive for him. CM Punk says, can I still be the best? Can I still be the best in the world? I love that. I love that he's looked at Darby and it's made him go, am I the best? Or is that kid now the best? I love that. So the crowd are doing yes chants, and CM Punk said, that's someone else's shtick. You might just want to be a bit patient. So shout out to AJ. Shout out to his wife. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's fine. It's a nice little continuation. What I love about it is you do get a little something there. So, love the fact that he's really nailed the reason I'm back is Darby. Love that. That didn't really come across last time. He calls Darby out, but it didn't really hit home that that was the reason that he was back. But love that. Love the Daniel Bryan thing. That's amazing. With the crowd doing yes chants. And he's like, that's someone else's shtick. You might want to just wait a minute for that one. So, you know, kind of confirming that Daniel Bryan's on his way. Which I think everyone knows anyway. And then a little shout out for April. AJ Lee. Who, I'm just looking to see if she's there at all. But I don't believe she is. Well, he said she's watching at home, actually, didn't he? So she's not. But yeah, very, very cool. Nothing that's like gonna blow up Twitter or anything. Well, maybe the Daniel Bryan thing will. Maybe the Daniel Bryan thing will. I can see it now. CM Punk teases Daniel Bryan AEW appearance or AEW debut. I can see the articles. There's people like this desperately writing right now. Going Go said, okay, that was great. I take back my comment about Punk versus Darby splitting the fan base. No, I got your point. I got what you meant by it. But, no, I love that. I love the fact that he's just put it all onto Darby and said, here's the reason I'm back, you know. Because that, I mean, people will have such respect for Darby now. It's maybe not true. It might be. There might be some truth in that. But I'm sure he's back for more than just Darby. Frank the Clown loves him some Punk. Remember when Seth said something about CM Punk on Raw and got into trouble? Hang on. Let's turn it up. That was good. Do you know what was great about that segment as well? It just went about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, including commercial breaks and everything. But just, I feel like we only just got started. I can't believe that it's already gone. Like, it's 10 past, coming up to 10 past 2 in the UK. I think when they announced CM Punk next, it was like almost, I don't know, 10 to 2. So, like, 15, 20 minutes or so during that. And it's just, yeah. It's brilliant. Could have watched another half an hour of it, in all fairness. I could see probably some people that are tuning out now, but I could see Punk against Miro. We've just got Miro backstage right now. Seth didn't get into trouble for mentioning CM Punk, says Sean. Punk versus MJF. That'd be good. Miro, the Redeemer. Short and sweet. Leave the people wanting more, says Shola. I agree. CM Punk getting Darby over is so great. This is what stars have to do to make new stars. Was the shot necessary? What shot? I didn't hear a shot, to be honest. I heard... I didn't hear the shot. I heard him say about Daniel Bryan. The show has been at a great pace, and it hasn't dragged. Dynamite's very good at that. AEW are very good with their pacing. CM Punk teases Bryan's debut. Wrestling fans, write that down. Brad said, damn, they had a good match next after the man CM Punk blew the ratings up a few mil, says Brad. Halftime scores. Get in your halftime scores. There's 13 million reasons why Punk is back. Very true. Mr. Gonzalo9 says 10 out of 10. Bonkers says 6.6. Scott says 7. Bob says 7. Brendan says 6.7. Austin says halftime score 7. The Punk promo raised it up a point. David Watkins says 7. LSW says 7. Scott Turner says 7. Bonkers says 6.5. Tony says 7. Mr. Gonzalo9 says 100 out of 100. Brian says 775. Zachary says 7. 10 out of 10 says Spike. 7 says Lazy. Sergio says 7. Dave says 6. Jason says 8. Brad says 7.5. Justin Archer says 7.5. Mike says 10. Austin 7. J14 says 7. Pilot says 9. Craig says 8. Tim says 3. Vishnu says 7. Just Incredible says 8. Hayden says 7. Shakeem says 3. Fez Boys says 11. Waleed says 6. 1987 Big Fan says 6.5. CJ Aesbit 10 says 8. He used the phrase in his promo just then, but he said in an interview a week ago that if he was 15, Darby would be his favourite wrestler. 725, I'm really enjoying it, says Nando. Jay Swiss says 9. Dave says 6. Jim Ackerman says 10 out of 10. CM Punk. Justin Archer says 7.5. John says 8.25. Punk reasons out of 10. Esteban says 7.77. Taboy says 6.75. James Chadwick says 7.5. Chris says 7. Brendan says 5.5. Butterspark says 7.5. Do you think WWE could debut Cole this Friday before All Out to kill any hype? I don't know. I don't know if I don't know when Punk's gonna sign. When Cole's gonna sign. I think it could be that his contract is up, and I don't know when he'll re-sign. To be honest, if I was Cole, I'd want a break. I really would. If I was Adam Cole, I'd be like, listen, whatever he's about to do is going to be a real long journey. Even if he goes to AEW, whatever he's about to do is going to be. Yeah, Darby Allin. I don't know who he's facing. Yeah, he's. No, I wouldn't. If I was him, I'd be like, give me a couple of weeks, would you? I'm gonna go on holiday, or I'm just gonna have a break or something. They could bring him in before All Out, absolutely. But All Out, that's the 5th, isn't it? So I don't know. The ball is in Adam Cole's court, isn't it? The ball is in Adam Cole's court. If Adam Cole wants a couple of weeks off, I'm sure they'll grant him that. What they could do if he signs is just send a message out saying, advertising him for SmackDown. Because that would still kill it. Tony and Cole will talk about creativity first. Here comes one of the best entrance themes of all time, says Jay Swiss. A break would be good. Need to get some space out from Punk. Cole won't debut Friday. I think Rampage is pre-recorded, says Taboy. Well, I think that Adam Cole is genuinely got a decision to make. I think he's got an offer from, at least 2 companies. And I think they're probably the 2 companies that he's considering the most, of course. And it depends without knowing the offers, we just don't know, do we? Darby Allin, is he the I Love Turtles boy all grown up? He could be. I tell you what, we've got an angry Moxley. Just, a bit, what, I don't know what I'm watching here. Moxley and, oh, is this, what is this? What, is this the 6-man tag match thing, is it? Six-man tag. Okay, so Ryan Nemeth, J.D. Drake, and Cesar Bononi. Apparently these are known as the Wingmen. They haven't been introduced that way, have they? They weren't on the graphic. We've got Kingston, Moxley, and Darby Allin in the ring right now. Days, I would have Hangman beat Kenny for the title, then MJF beats Hangman, then CM Punk beats MJF. What do you think about that? Says Rick E245. Hopefully that gets us a good 12 months down the road, maybe even longer than that. I definitely feel like we need a bit of distance. So yeah, hopefully we do get. I'm in no rush for him to get the title. I feel like that's a big milestone. So yeah, I've no issue with going that way. I think MJF definitely needs to be champion, but MJF needs that belt for a while. He needs to be a heel that just keeps cheating and winning, and then CM Punk coming out and being, yeah, I like it. I could go with that. KFC Brunyon said, I'm watching AEW on my mobile. The Wi-Fi is not working. TV consumes a lot of data, so I'm having to watch it on my phone with data sucking it. Yeah, I have to use 4G to watch all this as well. It's a hot boy summer. Alexis, shout out to you. We are up and running. I appreciate the support, buds. Hope everyone's enjoying AEW tonight. It's we've got just over 40 minutes to go. We've had the CM Punk segment. We've had the Jericho segment as well, actually. I don't know what the main event is. I don't even know if they've announced the main event. Let's have a look. We've got CM Punk done. Jericho done. Malachi against Brock Anderson. We've still got that. Factory versus Gun Club. We've still got that. I'm guessing it's going to be Malachi versus Brock Anderson. And then Factory versus Gun Club. Will that be next? Factory versus Gun Club, maybe, after this. Surprised this isn't the main event, what with Moxley and Darby Allin in there. Dolph and Ryan Ziggler. Lol. Dolph Ziggler's brother is in this match. He is. Punk and MJF has to happen. It's the guy the crowd will cheer the most versus the guy the crowd will boo the most. Edward said, fun fact, I share a birthday with Asuka and Buddy Murphy and Kieran Gibbs and Andres Gang from PSG. Okay. Cool. Malachi Black versus Brock Anderson. Brock Anderson. Little advert for that, actually, still to come. Look at this dude in a shirt with suspenders. He looks like Mr. Hughes. Getting like big boss man vibes, Mr. Hughes vibes. Moxley in the corner being chopped away on. Cody could return in the main. Heather said they're trying to push Black to the moon. To the moon. So no wonder he is main eventing. It's Brock's funeral tonight. It is. He will be missed. VFB Stuttgarten said, I feel like a kid with AEW roster. I absolutely love it. The nostalgia is unreal and it isn't fading one bit. Everything Network says, even the librarian has a stable. Yeah. I don't know how he met them. In the library? I'm not sure. He's not that anymore, is he? He's Pretty Peter. He's Pretty Peter Avalon now. Is Leather Bates still a thing? The librarian, is she still around at all? I haven't seen her in forever. Like, if she is still around, she must just live on Dark and Elevation. The only thing I didn't like was the announcer at the beginning, a little bit corny, says Shola. To the moon! Moxley's mid-card now. CM Punk's mid-card now. In fact, CM Punk in his 2 appearances hasn't main evented anything yet. He's opened the show and just been a mid-carder. They're burying him, guys. They're burying CM Punk. CM Punk's being buried. Only on BTE does she exist. Oh. How awesome would Bray facing off with Black tonight be? I don't think he can come in till November time. Yeah, she's there. She was at a convention recently with Baker. Days, will you stream the UEFA Champions League draw tomorrow? Oh. I don't know. I didn't know that was tomorrow. I will look into it. Apparently, we've got a press conference tomorrow for Jake Paul as well. Champions League draw, that'll be a lot of fun. And Jake Paul, yeah, we could do. We could do. We could do. Except Peter Avalon isn't the librarian. Lever has got her own story on being the elite. Heather, thank you, Heather. Shout out to you, Heather. Hope you are well. Darby Allin in the ring. Throwing in some strikes to, I don't know this dude's name, the shirted guy. Pretty Peter. Oh, Sting getting in the face of Pretty Peter. Pretty Peter is pleading, but Moxley and Kingston have come round. I tell you what, I mean, look at Darby Allin. He's hanging around with Sting. He's in a 6-man tag match with Moxley and Kingston. He's got CM Punk returning to wrestling for him. He's a very lucky boy. He's a very lucky boy. I hope he knows how lucky he is. They are investing. They couldn't invest any more in Darby Allin. He's got a chair in there. Goes out to the outsides. Shout out to you, Heather. The stomps are brutal. Amy said, I don't care about the Jake Paul fight because it's obvious that Jake's going to win. Do you think so? Against Tyron Woodley? I think Woodley might even have been the slight favourite, you know. Coffin drop by Darby. 1, 2, 3. And the big boss man has been beaten. Mr. Hughes has lost. Why has Darby Allin always got a rip in his tights? Like always on the side, I always see rips. Maybe it's a fashion thing. Danny Garcia stomping away on Darby Allin. The referee just knocked him out the ring. Danny Garcia came down. The referee just kind of stepped in. But as he stepped in, Garcia took a tumble and fell through the ropes. I mean, in all fairness, he was running away anyway. He's gone up the entrance ramp, but he got knocked out the ring by the referee. Funny. That is one strong. That is one strong ref. The referee just decked him. God, everyone is sticking up for Darby Allin. Even the referee is knocking people out that attack him. Tell you what, you need to sign that ref up as an active wrestler. The Women's Casino Battle Royale returns at AEW The Buy-In. I don't see AJ being in that. She might be in, like, maybe next year's. I could see her making a one-off appearance. But not there. Right, we're backstage with Tay Conti. Here's the bunny. Why are you still hanging out with the losers in the Dark Order? HFO? What the hell is HFO? Is that Matt? That's Matt Hardy's thing, isn't it? Alright, they're going at it. Cat fight. Cat fight. Tay and the bunny. HFO. Right, what we got now? Omega? Omega making his way out with Don Callis in a pink suit. Tay Conti, Kenny Omega making a way out. All right. I would not know who to pick out of Ali or Tay. Right. Omega. It's not bad, is it? It's not bad at all. Having Jericho do a promo, having CM Punk do a promo, and having Kenny Omega do a promo. Not bad at all. Ruby Soho could be the wild card. That's a great shout. I saw her video the other day, the runaway, and she steals a car and almost has a crash, and she's like banging on the steering wheel. It was quite interesting. It's quite interesting. My pick for the women's casino match is Thunder Rosa, says Jaden. Right, we are at commercial break. We've got just over half an hour to go. Just over half an hour to go. Adam Cole's appearance is a Mattel panel where WWE is advertising updates for his future. It's cold spray. There is cold spray. Yes. Yes. I like how they just have 8 refs standing by for an interview. Well, honestly, with the amount of brawls backstage, it's probably wise. If I was running AEW, I think I'd have 8 refs standing everywhere. In front of locker rooms, by interview bits, absolutely everywhere I could get them. I second that statement. More, please. I think Emi and Maki Ito could be back in the States. Nikki ASH for the Rumble. Tay Conti for the AEW Women's Championship. I would think it would be too soon to take the title off Britt. So whoever wins it, I don't think are winning the title. That's why I don't think Thunder. Because if Thunder wins, she's then going to face Britt and not win. So I think it needs to be someone credible that won't win the belt. We need a credible face that won't win the belt. So I don't know. Maki Ito? Could Maki Ito win it? Crowd love Maki Ito. She's credible. She's a face. She's over with the AEW fans, but she won't win the belt. That's what I would be thinking. Not Thunder Rosa. Because I think Thunder Rosa could be the person to take the belt eventually. But now would feel a bit too soon. Tay Conti. Right, we are going back to this Kenny Omega segment. As we said, we got half an hour to go. Half an hour to go. Serena Deeb. Oh, yeah, I miss her. She was my fave. Yeah, that was nasty. FTR saying they're not going to stop. What does the future hold for FTR? Oh, that didn't sound good, did it? They were like, I can't tell you that FTR are going to be coming back full-time. I can't even tell you they're going to come back part-time, but I can tell you we need at least one more match. And Cash Wheeler showing off his bandaged arm. And obviously, you know, it was a brutal injury that he suffered. I wonder what does that mean? Like, hopefully it's just like a little tease and everything's fine. But I don't know. Interesting. Here's Christian Cage making his way out. He's only got the one belt. Is he wearing the other? No? No, he's just left the other one. Just going to carry this now. So, Christian said, I bet you've all had a couple of beers by now, but it's not enough for them to believe what's coming out of your mouth. That pink suit, though. Don't know if any other promotions would let their champions enter a tournament to lose. I'm going to try to get a PS5 tomorrow. Good luck. Good luck. The TNA title is retired. He's retired the TNA belt. Is it really? I thought he just couldn't be bothered to bring it out. Oof. Having a pop at Don Callis. Okay, the crowd are chanting piece of ship at Don Callis. Look at his shoes as well. He's got like electric pink on his shoes. The TNA title has been officially retired. POS chant, says Brad, yeah. We've still got 2 matches to go, Malachi and Brock, and we've still got that factory gun club thing. I love that. That's brilliant. So, Don Callis talking about, like, being an amazing promoter. He said, I'm basically Vern Gagne. I'm basically Vince McMahon. So, Vince getting a mention. But he says Kenny isn't like Greg Gagne. Like, he's pointing out the fact that, you know, Kenny isn't some son that's not going to measure up. Like, this is Kenny by God Omega. You think you know me? Dom mentioning Vince. He's taking everything off. He's taking his scarf off. He's taking his jacket off. Caitlyn could debut. Spray in the face. Christian's gone down. He's being kicked. Right at the moment, we've got 4-on-1. Kazarian's come down. He's chasing them out of the ring. Okay, so there's the that's the end of that. Good, yeah. Lots of little references in there. Good little promo and all to build up Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage Sunday, September 5th. at All Out. So I think that's not this weekend, but the weekend after. That means we've got some big weekends coming, you know. This weekend we got UFC and the Jake Paul fight. Next weekend we'll have UFC and AEW All Out. So our weekends and of course Premier League all the time. So our weekends continue to be big. All right, we got Jon Moxley backstage. Who's he facing? Couldn't believe it.
Cima. Satoshi. I thought, man, what a treat for the fans in Chicago to see a legend of New Japan, a legend of All Japan live and in person. That's a real treat for the fans. When I started thinking about it, I said, damn.
Kojima Satoshi.
This crazy ass old man wants to step in the ring, go toe to toe with me. Dude, Kojima. Kojima-san.
So it is going to happen. That's cool. It really felt like he was going to say, but we can't do it because of trap. Like, I don't know why, but the way he said, I looked at the contract. It said Satoshi, and I thought, what a match that'll be for the fans. And I was waiting for him to go, but, and then I thought he was going to say it wasn't going to happen, but no, it looks like we're getting that. Forbidden door, wide open. Well, there we go. Right, we are moving forward. We've got Gun Club versus... Oh, what is it? The Nightmare Family or someone? No? Gun Club versus Nightmare Family. No. Nightmare Factory. Oh, God. There we go. Days, you know that Soho stealing the car was part 2 of the series? No, I didn't know. I saw it said to be continued, so I knew there was another part coming, but I didn't realise there'd been a part already. It was meant to be Tanahashi, but New Japan booked him for a match on the same date. I wondered where he had gone. I did wonder where he had gone because we saw him, didn't we? That's a shame. Satoshi's still a big name, though. Tanahashi would have been more exciting for me personally, but no, cool. Paul White on commentary. Do you think at some point CM Punk versus Chris Jericho, the matches in WWE were awesome? Well, I don't know what's going to happen with this Jericho MJF thing. I don't know. I mean, I personally would do it. I think that AEW are building up their library. You know, they're building up, like, their own kind of historic matches. And I think that's one that they would want in their, like, library. Because if you did, like, a best of CM Punk in AEW, like, him against Jericho would be something people would want to see. Or you did, like, you know, Jericho's... You know, AEW, because I'm sure they'll do even if they don't release them on DVDs, like, there'll be a way that they can produce content and get it out to fans and make money from it. There's always going to be a demand for that kind of content. So, yeah, I wouldn't... I don't know if Jericho's going to go now. It still feels like there's a lot for him to do. It still feels like there's a lot of people he hasn't faced. But I suppose it's always going to feel that way, isn't it? It's always going to feel that way. It's always going to... Is he ever going to leave and you're going to say, well, he did it all? No, there's always going to be young stars that are coming through and new stars that are coming through. But it would be a shame because, you know, if Bray's about to come in, if Daniel Bryan's about to come in, if Adam Cole's about to come in, if... Well, CM Punk has just come in. Like, it does feel like there's this big wave of people that Jericho could have, like, matches with. So... I don't know. It's we'll have to see. We'll have to see what goes down at AEW All Out. Another trios match. Legend Killer said, I'm watching AEW Dynamite. I am as well. Shout out to you, Legend Killer. Serena in Punk's stable, says G. Kirtland. I'd love to see Ruby Soho come in. Yeah, I was a fan of hers. I thought she was a really good wrestler. I don't know why it didn't work out for her. I mean, she's got a different look as well. She's got that kind of punk rock vibe. But then, so does Rhea Ripley now. So is it a case that they've gone, we don't need two. We don't need Ruby and Rhea. And they're always going to go with Rhea because she looks bigger. She's like a bit younger, and I don't know. I mean, there must have been a place for Ruby Riott, but maybe they just felt it didn't need him. I mean, there's reports that like as soon as they started to get so many giants, they questioned whether they needed Braun anymore. Once they had like a Moss and a few other people that are coming through. Shanky and a Moss and some others that, are in the works. They, looked at Braun and went, do we see a long-term future? Apparently, Nick Khan was saying a lot is to do with long-term futures. People that move the dial and creatively are they going to have stuff for them in the next few years. And I think, they might have looked at Braun and thought, we don't have anything. And with all the giants that we've got coming through, his selling point isn't the same. So I wonder if they thought the same for Ruby. I don't know. It feels like she's landed on her feet. It feels like she's got something. I'm guessing it's AEW, and I hope it is, and I hope she does well. I really like her. Right, we're underway with this match. We've got 18 minutes. 18 minutes to go. Soho's vignettes were filmed in New York. I bet it'll be an Arthur Ashe debut. Where's Shaq gone? Haven't seen him since he supernaturally left the ambulance. That was weird. That was strange. Has anyone seen him since? I hope he's well. I would hate to think he's stuck in some other realm. Goes back into the corner. Here's Aaron Solo. Solo charging over, but here's QT Marshall. Clothesline. Solo goes down. Days, didn't you know that on the bottom of CM Punk's shoes, oh, it's gone. It's gone. 10 out of 10 every week. Consistently interested, says Kyle. Jericho versus Volta. Take that. A few minutes left on the show. I think the Malachi Anderson will end up being a no contest thanks to Cody. They need legitimate challengers for Jade Cargill. She keeps squashing people and it's getting old. Do you think Jericho could end up in WWE someday? Yeah, but only to go into the Hall of Fame. I don't see him wrestling. I think I don't know that door is closed. I think his relationship's all right with Vince. Maybe even now it might be all right. So I don't know that that's done. One, two, three. Gun Club win. QT was distracted by Paul White. Paul White's laughing on the entrance stage. AEW is doing perfect right now. I feel like a kid again, says Kyle. Jericho has stated multiple times that when he retires, he'll work commentary, as he's grown a massive passion for it during the pandemic era. Jay Swift says, my WWE fandom began when Andre was champ and ended after Bianca's squash. Jericho can do commentary, yes. I like Dan Lambert.
Know your customers and give them what they want. Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along. You actually want to see some 12-year-old looking put stuff into a locker back in high school. Get on his knee and propose to his girlfriend instead of getting into a fist fight.
What is this building towards, though?
Marilyn Manson and Tony Hawk skateboarding in the arena while reading a comic book. You want to see some lazy douche?
I like the fact they keep bringing on MMA fighters and doing this, but I don't know what it's leading towards. The dude is MJF level heel. Yeah, he just goes as well. When he starts doing a promo, he is off. He is off. Start speaking truths. AEW is not perfect. Nothing is perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. Mr. Gonzalo 9 said this guy is boring. Someone is stealing Cornette's material. So is he? I don't get this. Is he now managing Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page? I don't understand. Well, we'll find out, won't we? Orange Cassidy versus Jack Evans next week. FTR are back next week against Santana and Ortiz. Jim Ross is going to interview Chris Jericho. Aces and Eights had Tito and Rampage or something. Now that was a 1 minute promo. He just kept going, didn't he? He just kept going. Tay Conti against the Bunny. That's on Friday. Jurassic Express taking on the Lucha Bros. And Kenny Omega and Brandon Cutler takes on Christian Cage and Frankie Kazarian. Pac versus Andrade El Idolo at All Out. Britt Baker takes on Chris Statlander. CM Punk versus Darby Allin. MJF versus Chris Jericho. The final fight. If Jericho loses, he never wrestles again. So, Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. All Out is stacked. Maybe it's built into an AEW team and an MMA team. Maybe. Brock Anderson versus Malachi Black. Malachi Black versus... Days, are we getting a Paul Heyman on a pole match? I don't think so, Dally Paul. I don't think so. I know it's a match that many people want to see, but I don't think we're getting it. Days, if The Fiend came to AEW, do you think they should book The Fiend versus Malachi Black? I don't think you'll get The Fiend because I don't think you can get The Fiend because I think that's WWE's property. But I think you could get a dark Bray character, and yeah, you could do him against Malachi. Brock's got his own locker room. Lights have gone out. Right, he's sat in the center, cross-legged. CM Punk against Malachi Black would be great. That would be awesome. Imagine that. CM Punk versus Malachi Black. For the AEW Championship. So many matches they can book. So many matches. Tony Khan must be like a kid in a candy store. CM Punk also teased Bray Wyatt. Did he? How did he tease Bray Wyatt? He's going to take one kick to the face. Future champion. How is Kia doing? She's all right. Yeah, she's fat. She's fat. But other than that, she's doing all right. Ben Russell says Malachi versus Bray's new dark character is something that I want to see. Like his mask. That skull mask looks cool. Lights out, back in the ring. The kicks between Black and Punk. Poor Brock is going to get killed. Right, we've gone to commercial break. Comparing that mask to Kinky Kross is lols. That's true. That's true. All that was missing from NXT was the naked guy from Raw. That would have made it a bit better. His mask is freaking cool. Black's entrance is metal. Cody is going to return and ruin everything. CM Punk's shoes had initials BW on. Look on Twitter. Okay. So that was the tease for Bray Wyatt. The fact that his shoes said BW. Fun fact, from the very first time you streamed, you've done 2,800... No way have you counted that. Please tell me you've not counted that. 2,849 hours. That doesn't include the minutes and seconds. Obviously doesn't include the private member stuff. Have you really gone back and counted up? Dude, if you've done that, that's amazing. That's amazing if you've done that. And you've counted it as 2,849 hours. God, I need a life. God, I need a life. That's like 100 straight days, isn't it? Well, more than 100 straight days. Whew. Shout out to you, Alex Bloomfield. I believe that you have actually gone back and counted it all. And I'm very impressed. I'm very, very, very impressed. Shout out to you, Alex. The Moldy Spoon said, I just can't wait to see Bray again. Don't care where I miss him. Last week he wrote AC on his shoes, and this week he wrote BW. Brian said, days Mr. 2849. Yeah, but every hour that goes by, that number's changing, so... 2849, that's not right, is it? I mean, that's borderline concerning. That's 100 straight days, more than, of just streaming. That's a lot of my life. That's too much of my life. I don't know whether to be proud of that or concerned. I'm leaning to concerned. I'm leaning heavily to concerned. Anthony, shout out to you. Rampage, what you gonna do? It works out at 118 days of streaming. No, I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of that. That's not right. We only started streaming in 2018 as well. So the fact that we've done 100 days in the past, say, 3 years... I mean, a good chunk of that is going to be me asleep. A good chunk of that is going to be me eating. A good chunk of that is me setting up the streams. I haven't got a life, guys! I haven't got a life! Don't you lose like 50%? Like, something like 30 or 40% of your life sleeping? If you take that away... All I do is just stream, sleep, and watch Walking Dead now. That's my life. God, I wish you hadn't told me that number. I feel really down now. Now I'm like, oh, God. I need to go and do something. I might go off bungee jumping tomorrow or something. I need some excitement in my life. I need to do something. Right, we're underway. We've got 5 minutes. This is going to have to be a squash, isn't it? It's going to have to be a squash. Kicks coming in by Malachi. Should start a Twitch. No, I'm alright. Don't need to do any more. That's not even counting the web. No. Let's not focus on it. I'm going to miss The Fiend, Bray Wyatt's character. I'm looking forward to seeing what Bray does next. Wyndham Rotunda is my favourite professional wrestler in the world. Brian said 151 more would make it 3,000. Yeah. I wonder when we'll get there. That feels like not that far off, in all fairness. How many hours do we stream? I mean, we do 3 on a Monday. 4 on a Monday. 4 on a Monday, 3 on a Tuesday, 3 on a Wednesday. There's 10. Then we tend to do a good 8 for UFC, so there's 18. Then we do, like, Premier League. So that's going to be another 4. So we tend to do a good 25 a week. I reckon we're probably a month. Probably a month, 4 weeks away, and we'll be at 3,000. Maybe not even that. In fact, definitely not even that, because we've got Jake Paul this weekend as well. And we've got AEW All Out coming up. I'm not going to think about it. It's better if I don't think. I'll only upset myself. 3 minutes to go. Days, you must be rich off that many hours. If not, you're absolutely senile. Do you want to know a fun fact? You earn pretty much nothing from that. Because if you think about it, you get paid by adverts. So, no adverts are on these streams. Like, honestly, it's the worst thing in the world. Why do you think no one else is doing this? You get paid by adverts, and there's no adverts. So, no, is the answer. I would actually make more money if I just did videos. Because just think, if I did a 5-minute video, at the start of each one would be an advert. And that's how you make money. When I do hours and hours and hours of streaming, it doesn't actually make money. Brilliant. Thanks for cheering me up even more. God, not only have I not got a life, but I'm not even making money off it. Don't matter. Malachi Black has won. He's got Brock Anderson's lost. Arn Anderson standing in the way. Malachi throws the chair away. Yeah, I think you're all right. I think there's a good chance Cody's coming back here. Oh, blocked by Arn. Oh, didn't block that one though. Oof, right in the 4 horsemen. Whew. Right in the 2 horsemen, he kicked him. And then puts him down. So we've got we've got all the Anderson family on the floor at the moment. Arn Anderson down, Brock Anderson down. Malachi sat in the corner. Is Cody coming back? Right, he's just pointing over. I'm just waiting to see. I don't think he is. If he is, he's leaving it properlastminute.com. Johnny Lee has come down. No, we've not got Cody. We've got Johnny Lee. So Lee's in the ring. Brock Anderson is down. Arn Anderson's down. Johnny Lee has made the save. And Malachi's walking up the ramp. I think that's it. I don't think there is a Cody tonight. Last week he wrote AC on his shoes. This week he wrote BW. Okay. Okay, done. That's it. No Cody. Right, getting your scores, getting your full-time scores. What did you think of the show? What did you think of the show? Zoom Station says 7. Justin says 8. The ending brought it down to about a 6. Justin says 8. Brendan says 8.25. Esteban says 7. Austin says 7. Mr. Gonzalo 9 says 10. Anna Heel Doors says 6.5. Hayden says 7. Austin says 7. Dave in Real Life says 7. KFC Brunyon says 8. Dylan says 7. Sergio says 7. Nathan with a 10. Kyle with a 10. Samuel with a 7. Banana Grapes with a 10. C. Rayford with a 7. KFC Brunyon with an 8. Let Him In with a 7. CJ Aisbit with a 9. Nando with a 7.5. Moldy Spoon with a 7. We got CCSYT with a 7.5. 7.5 from Jordan. Got lots of 7s. 7.5, 8. I feel like we're around that range. KFC Brunyon with an 8. Hodge Burn It Down says 6. CCSYT said solid 7.5. Buttspark says 7.75. VFB Stuttgart says 8. It was a solid show. David Watkins says 6.5. Brandon says 2.5. Is there a member stream on Thursday? Yeah, there should be. I mean, we try to do one every Thursday, but I just need to see League draw in this Jake Paul press conference. There's a few things that I haven't prepared for, so I need to have a look at those now. I'm still here. There's nothing. Kyle, shout out to you. Legend Killer 7. Stephen Paul 8.9. CCSYT says 7.5. Yeah, I'm going to agree. I mean, I'm kind of with the chat, really. I thought the show was fine. I didn't think it was spectacular. I kind of feel like CM Punk are brilliant. Yeah, that obviously helps. Jericho announcement was good. The matches didn't blow me away, to be honest. I just thought it was a pretty solid show with CM Punk. So I'm going to say 7.25, something like this. I'll go with that. People are going, like, a lot of people are 7, some 8s, some people over 8, some people under 7. But I kind of feel like that's fair. I think CM Punk really helped this show for me. I think the CM Punk segment, the few little teasers in there, you know, the Daniel Bryan one in particular, I thought was really fun, and I loved what he said about Darby. You know, there was some star power on the show, but I think, yeah, I don't know. I kind of think that the matches need to be a little better for me. I mean, the 6-man tag match, it was all right. The factory whatever versus the Gun Club, for me, that just sits on Elevation or sits on Dark. I wasn't really crazy into that. It was just a few matches I just wasn't that bothered by. Jamie Hayter against Red Velvet was all right, actually. The first match, because of the blood as well, was all right. Malachi closing the show, don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna say 7.25, but I think Punk doing quite a bit of the heavy lift in there for me. Why did you give NXT 9.5 and this 7.25? Well, I did say at the time I didn't give it. Didn't I give it a 9? I think I gave it a 9. And I did say actually my actual score would be about a 7.5. So yeah, I was only joking with a 9. So yeah. Too many throwaway matches, says J Brock. 2 of the matches were a bit Dart related, says Brian. Vin says 6.5. Austin says 7.25. I agree. When you're streaming all these hours, where do money come from? Well, donations that people make. That's obviously keeps the channel going. I think as well, you might watch an advert at the very start of a stream or when you first join the stream. So there is some ad revenue there. but it's not the same as videos. I mean, it's just not. I mean, with videos as well, if you do like videos that say 8 minutes long, 10 minutes long, you might have seen quite a few of those where they have adverts in the middle as well. So you'll be watching it and then an advert will pop up. You won't get that during live streams. But that's extra revenue for those videos. So it would factually be more financially beneficial if I did a 10-minute video, had an advert at the start and an advert in the middle. That would make more money. Obviously, it needs to be a video that gets viewed, I don't know, 5,000 times. If this stream does say 10,000, which I don't even know that it will, but if it does, then a video getting viewed 5,000 times that had 2 adverts in would make the same as this stream that gets viewed 10,000 times, but only has 1 advert at the start. So, yeah, it's. I don't think about that though. I don't do it for those reasons. I do it because I like watching the shows. I like hanging out with you guys, and that's why we do it. Electra Lopez gave it a 9 out of 10. 9.5 because of underboober. I believe when New Japan and AEW can fully start going back and forth, the shows are going to be special, especially when the New Japan stars are wrestling. I agree. Future's bright. Future's bright. Without CM Punk being around, this could have been a 5.5 or a 6. I do agree with that, actually. I do agree with that. I'll take a throwaway match over rematches week after month. Yeah, but I think you're comparing it to Raw, and Raw has been awful. So I don't disagree. Why are they always killing Matt Hardy? Days, you should do an ad break or 2. You deserve it. I don't even know if you can do it, to be honest. I've never looked into it. Maybe you can. I don't know. I mean, we're doing all right. We're fortunate that enough people join us whereby it's fine. Do you know what I mean? We can get by. I can cover the costs, save a little bit of money. But that's why I'm still not got my own place yet, because I'm trying to save up to try and get a place. So just keep chipping away at that. But which is why I'm struggling to justify spending £200 on an NXT UK belt. But it is what it is. You're definitely getting paid by Tenzing. Do you know, I don't... Normally I have one around, but I ain't got one. I took them all upstairs. I wish I was. That'd be an easy sponsorship. Vince must be happy that he was mentioned on AEW. Yes. I got YouTube Red, so I don't see the ads. How does that work? I've got it. Well, I haven't got YouTube Red. I've got the premium thing, so I don't see ads either. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know. Kyle said, I believe in wrestling again. Punk posted a picture of himself and Daniel Bryan on Instagram after he spoke tonight. J14 said, I'm going to go 725. How would you feel if Bray went to Impact? Do you think he should go there? No. I don't think he should go there. I think Bray is too creative to go to somewhere like Impact that doesn't get the views. Bray deserves to be seen, deserves to be watched. And no disrespect to Impact, but they get a quarter of AEW's views. Obviously, if he was in Impact, I'm sure he would be used in AEW. But why not just take him to AEW and then let Impact have him once in a while? I think that the only thing is, Impact will let him do whatever he wants. AEW, I think, would let him do whatever he wants. But AEW don't have supernatural stuff now. Matt Hardy has completely changed direction. If you think when he came in, he was, if him teleporting around had been accepted by everyone, he'd still be doing it. If him changing clothes underwater and changing clothes in ice machines had been accepted, he'd still be doing it. But that is clearly not something they're looking to explore or continue with. There could be those limitations applied to Bray as well, to Wyndham as well. So I don't think he'd have those limitations in Impact. I think Impact would just let him do anything he wanted. If he wanted to make the whole audience disappear or something, I think they'd go for it. I don't think AEW will go that far, but I think that they will entertain more than what WWE... the irony is WWE would probably do that kind of stuff. I mean, they're having dolls wink and do all this kind of a thing, so I don't know. I think Impact will give him more freedom than AEW, but I don't know that that's a good thing, because I think AEW will still allow him to do pretty much whatever he wants, but just within a few limitations. AEW's bigger. I think he can work within whatever their parameters are and come out with some amazing stuff. I think I think he would be over with the crowd. I think the AEW fans would be on board with him coming in. I don't think he would get the same fanfare that CM Punk's got. I think AEW fans, they like their wrestling. They appreciate the in-ring stuff, the Bucks and Omega. They appreciate characters as well, though. So he would there'd be a place for him. And I think that he could make it work. So if he goes to Impact, he'll have more freedom than anywhere else. And he'll be the big star there. He'll be a big fish in a small pond. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And I'm sure he'd be paid really well, and I'm sure that AEW would use him and bring him in and whatever, but he deserves to be seen by more people. That's what it comes down to for me. He deserves to have an AEW figure. He deserves to be in the game. He deserves to... I can't see him going to Impact. Impact can want him, but I can't see how they're going to get him. I think AEW is a brand that's very exciting. It's on the rise. It's the buzz of the wrestling world, and I think that Bray deserves to be a part of that. Absolutely deserves to be a part of that. So if he goes to Impact, fine, but I'd rather go to AEW. Ponton21, shout out to you, my friend. Appreciate the support, buds. A few more minutes and we will wrap up. I agree, Austin. Shout out to you. Sean said, Impact's awesome. It gets hate for no reason. What channel is Impact? Apparently it's on Access TV. Sergio said the difference is he would have the name like CM Punk. He has to start anew. Yeah, but he'll have to start anew wherever he goes. He won't be able to use Bray or Fiend and things like that, will he? Braun is about to be on Impact, says Kyle. Ring of Honor. I think that's even smaller, isn't it? Alex said, I went back and wrote down all the times. 8 pages. I've got to do something whilst I'm self-isolating. You'll easily hit 3,000 when I add in minutes and seconds. Don't make it worse, Alex. Don't make it worse, mate. God, you've already crushed my spirit. Don't make it worse. Yeah, we don't need to... Don't worry about the minutes and the seconds. We'll just stick with what we've got, shall we? So, no, shout out to you, Alex. That is amazing. As much as you seem to make Smurf money and put in place and loyal viewers to help you get there, Ponton, shout out to you. Yeah, it's not about that. I'm not interested in that. I'm just interested in like watching the streams, having a good time, and all that kind of stuff. And just kind of, you know what I mean? I'm very, very fortunate that I'm able to do this and have some sort of a living. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the goal very much would be get my own place and just be able to, make it work. And I love. I can't remember who said it, but I think there's like scientists that have actually worked out that people are at their happiest if they can pay the bills and go for a meal once in a while. Like, not every night, like once a month, once every few weeks, like you can go to a restaurant and have a meal. Yeah. If you don't have to worry about bills because they're covered, and you can go for a meal once in a while, maybe have a holiday once a year, if you can do that, then anything more than that doesn't make you any happier. Like, they found that, yeah, you can have everything your heart desires, but it doesn't actually make you any happier. Like, life is harder if you can't cover the bills, and if you can never go on holiday, then life is harder. They've found that. But if your bills are covered and you can afford to go on holiday, not even like Cancun, just get away. You can afford to get away somewhere once a year. Maybe go to a restaurant once a month, have a nice night out, nice meal. That is the goal. That is life goals. That is a realistic, achievable goal. And apparently after that, things just, So I'm someone that very much focuses on that. Could I get to a point where I'm able to do that? So, don't know. Very fortunate in that I'm able to save some money and work towards that. So I don't worry about it. Tonight felt like my parents saying we're going to Disney, but not yet. And on that bombshell, I'm going to leave you. So, awesome, guys. Appreciate the support as always. We will be back tomorrow for things. I don't know what things. Probably a Champions League draw. See who Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, everyone's going to be facing in the Champions League. I could see us doing Champions League streams as well. They don't affect the Fantasy Premier game that we're playing, but it is the biggest competition. Like, we watched the final of it. We saw Man City against Chelsea in the final of the Champions League just before the Euro started. Well, this year's Champions League starting up soon. Tends to run on like a Wednesday and a Tuesday and a Wednesday, which is good for us. We haven't really got much on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Won't interfere with AEW, won't interfere with NXT. It'll just be an extra. So I'm down for that. So yeah, I think we could have a look, see who's going to be drawn against who. Obviously PSG, massive team. See who they get as well. And Jake Paul press conference, I could see us covering that. There's a lot of interest in that, and we are doing the fight this weekend. So yeah, we'll probably look at those. Wrestling Escape Pod, members stream, blah, 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 blah. So busy day tomorrow. SmackDown on Friday. UFC on Saturday. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley on Sunday. Raw on Monday. Premier League games as well. We'll get to that 3,000 pretty soon. Don't worry about it. Awesome then. I'm off. Thanks a lot for watching. And hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.